This episode of Why Did I Become a Doctor is brought to you in partnership with Medical Brief, South Africa's leading daily healthcare news service. Stay informed with trusted reporting, expert insights, and analysis that matters to healthcare professionals. Subscribe free at medicalbrief.co.za/subscribe. Dr. Reggie Reddy, welcome.
Thank you very much, Yash and Rejection. Y and Y, right?
Yeah,
Y and RR. How long have you been in practice, Doc?
35 years. I've finished practice, right? It's almost like a lifetime.
35 years is 2 years shy of my lifetime. So you started practicing when I was 2 years old.
Yeah, in 1990,
Sure.
started.
So where did it all start, Doc? Where are you from?
So I'm originally from Durban, but I grew up in an interesting place. I grew up in a farm outside Kloof. And the interesting story is that
Kloof, what's that?
Kloof is outside Pinetown. It's what we call it's about 10 kilometers outside Claremont.
Is that like near Assegai now?
No, it's Pinetown Claremont area. That's very you got Durban, Westville, Pinetown. Then you got Claremont, and now it's called Quadbeca.
Okay.
Right. So that's the area that we grew up in, and so we had 1,000 acres of farm. The family.
What type of farm?
So growing ginger and bananas and tomatoes, and so on the plot that we lived on was 5 acres. And people took off the grid. We were off the grid those days, and we had our own generators, own water supply, own sanitation system, and everything that we lived was off the land. If you wanted fruits, it was off the tree, right? And milk was from the cows, right? Till the age of 6 years old.
So wait, you come from? It sounds like you come from a well-off family. What did your parents do?
My grandfather came in 1890.
Right.
From 1890 from on the ship. And my grandfather came and to work on the sugarcane field, and he came at the age of 13 years old, but because he's so young, so they brought him as a cook, and this had happened. And then later on, that they went into farming. They were given off like small portions of farming. So basically, that's how they started. They started off basically of nothing, and into something that later on that they came into farming.
Do you know who he cooked for?
No, I don't really know cook, but cook for a British family.
Okay.
They were for a white family where he's employed as a cook, and this way. So and he came with his mother, and didn't come with his father, and then his mother got sick and went back to India, and so that he was here, and then he got married to my granny in South Africa. So she was born here, I think in I think 1899 or something like that. She was born in South Africa. So we grew up in this farm here with everything that living almost natural. At the age of 6 years, I had nothing from the can, nothing from a packet, nothing from a bottle, anything. You wanted ice cream, the grandfather used to make fresh ice cream every Sunday.
But it sounds like that was a necessity because it couldn't have been refrigeration.
No. There was no there was no refrigerator. We cold stove. They baked scones and custard cakes, everything in the cold stoves. Everything was cold stove.
Free range.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the group areas, they took everything away.
But wait, we'll get there. But your parents, what did they do?
So my dad was at Ancestry college, right, and he had to leave school at the age of 7 because my grandfather didn't have anybody to help him, and there were 11 children in the family.
Wow.
Yeah. So those days it was big, huge families.
Cricket team.
Yeah, almost cricket team. Actually, we had cricket pitch where we lived.
It sounds like a lot of privilege.
That explains it. Well, that explains why they had the 11 kids. They needed a team.
Yeah, they were passionate about cricket and football and all the sports, but cricket was a big.
So he
thing.
left school standard 7 and then.
Yeah. He left school standard 7, and then he went to help his dad on the farm, and they were living in a place called Roosfontein first. Roosfontein was outside Westville.
Okay.
Right. So this is where. So they lived on a half-acre property. Property that was given. The Britishers, when you were exiting, and they gave people small properties, and then they had to barter. Then they had to sort of, for work later, then to give them another quarter acre, another half acre. So that's how it was in the early days.
But Doc, just to go back 1 second, but for as long as I know you, I think you have been a South African supporter. Today, South Africa plays India in the cricket.
Yeah.
Are you not conflicted of who to support?
No. I know. I love South Africa. I love the national spirit of the country, but I also love India. You know, I have a great affinity with India because I studied in India, and India has given historically, I think that India has given birth to the Indian population in South Africa, and I think India's affinity to South Africa is great. And I think I love India per se, and I'm conflicted. I love both teams to win.
So you are technically second generation South African, right? Because your dad would have been first gen.
No, my grandfather, then my dad.
Your grandfather came on the ship, right?
Yeah, he came from India.
Yeah, so your dad was born here.
So that's first generation.
That's first generation.
Yeah.
Then you're second gen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we? Fourth generation.
We are probably fourth or fifth. I don't know. Well, like
fourth generation.
Yeah. So is that how you managed to figure out all these? Like, who tells you these stories? Who explains to you?
So my dad was very meticulous in terms of education and diaries. So my dad had chronologically inscripted the family history, and that's why it's very easy for us to get an OCI card. Okay. Right? Because he traced our history from our ancestry, the village we've up to my grandfather passed away. They were in direct contact with the family in Andhra Pradesh, and my grandfather used to go every year to India.
Yeah. So you're Telugu.
Yes.
So you've seen your dad's diaries and he's kept
yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. And he gave me my set of information for myself. To each, we have three brothers. Each one was given his chronological diary. And so my dad was meticulous in that sense, that he made sure everybody had their own chart of your original birth certificate. You know, we had to get the unabridged birth certificate. His one, his dad's. Each one had a copy of a set.
So even though he left school at 7 and went to work on the farm, I mean, he still kept.
Yes.
Meticulous.
It is said that my dad was a brilliant scholar and was an A-grade student at that time. And you know, there was a principal called K.R. Naya, and that we met. That who knew my dad and said my dad, she never left school.
From Ancestry College.
Yeah. You know, she never left school. You know.
So what did you do growing up? What were you like as a kid?
I love the farm.
What did you do on the farm?
I love playing. I mean, we played more than we studied. So there was a school called Cooper School, in the farm school, and was a very organized school. And Cooper was is of Indian descent. He had a farm there, and he had built part of near his house a school for all the children.
No relation to Seth Cooper.
Yes, Seth Cooper's father.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It was Seth
Cooper. Seth Cooper
is an activist.
Yes. Seth Cooper's father. So those are the classes whereby grade 1 and 2 were together. Class 1 and 2, then class 3 and 4 together. That's how the school. That's how the classes were. All were done.
Yeah. So bigger classes.
No, smaller classes, but they were mixed class because there were not enough space, and then the children were too few. They were like 10 in class 1 and 10 in class 2. But they would teach. They would teach together, but separately. You know. Yeah. It was amazing Indian teachers how they adapt to teaching. You know.
Yeah. So you just play on the farm, play on the cricket pitch there.
Yeah.
How many siblings did you have, Doug?
We were 3 boys.
3 boys.
Yeah. I was youngest of 3.
Okay.
Yeah. You know there. And so there was another school called Fannin School. They used to walk. My brothers used to walk to that school. We were in the junior primary school. The senior primary school was a Fannin School. They walked about 5 kilometers to school and back. You know.
And what was your favorite thing to do at school? Just
I love running. I was an athlete.
Oh. But that carried on in your, because when I first met you, you also used to.
Yeah. And even now, I still cycle. I still do running. I still walk. Right, and I love any challenges in life. Maybe I could do Mount Everest with Rejection. Who knows?
Academically, wait. We actually didn't mention this. We should have probably. How Yak and Dr. Reddy know each other. I mean, Yak used to work for you, right?
But I think long before working, I think, sometimes, the universe of divine energy brings us together. So Yak's sister was known before she got married to a future father-in-law, and his brother was, Rajesh Ramdas. And so before Yak got back from Mauritius studying, and they told me, listen, they want one thing me to do. and they somebody coming from coming from Mauritius, right? Right? Because they knew that I used to mentor students all the time. I love mentoring students, even on Wits, wherever they are, all over the world.
Dental students.
Yeah, dental students and young graduates. So Reggie told me, please, you must take all the time, and whatever happens, you must make sure Yak succeeds, and he must pass his exams, and he must do all everything facility. So when Yak came, my surgery was open to him 24/7. He was learning how to do crowns, fillings, the whole works, and then the model of teaching. And then when he went to Western Cape for the exams, and everybody knew Yak there.
Okay. All right. Well, let's rewind then, and let's go back to the farm and schooling life. You liked running.
Yes.
And academically.
So I was an athlete. So I used to win races. I used to in school and district races, provincial colors, and
KZN, right?
Yeah, everything I did that. And then academically, and I love learning. I love English. Even now, I love the language. I love the marvel of literature and the intrigue of literature and language and usages, and I just marvel of that. I could listen to languages on. I used to go to a I don't know whether you know the Gothic Institute in Parkers. They have a language and literacy day every year.
Okay.
Right. I missed it this year, right? So they have music and they have a bit of literacy, language, expression, and all. So I love languages. I love the English language.
Okay.
You know,
and Telugu? You speak any Telugu?
Yeah. Actually, at the early days that we learned to speak, my grandfather and my grandmother were fluent in Telugu and in Tamil, and my dad and my mom. So we learned a little about Telugu and Tamil, but unfortunately, if you don't learn the language and if you don't speak the language, you lose it very quickly. So when I went to India, I learned Hindi. I was fluent in Hindi.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a Manipal.
No,
we'll get there.
Lucknow, we'll get there. Yeah, so but coming to the farm. So academically, I love to teach and learn. And my mom she married very young. My mom married at the age of 14.
Okay.
So she was very young, but she always a job was to teach us, learn us. That was her beside the cooking. She lived in a big family setup. Obviously, big 11 children, sibling. My mom was a so-called eldest of the daughter-in-laws. There.
Yeah.
And
so schooling, were you doing well?
Yeah. I was always in the top 3 of the school.
So why did you do dentistry? How did that come about?
So then from the farm, then when the group parents took the farm overnight we lost everything.
So what happens there? Explain to us.
So when the farm was declared a township, right. So all Indians had to move out of Kloof.
So the apartheid government declares certain areas not for whites only, or
no, for black occupation,
right.
And where they established townships.
Okay.
So now Quarterback now is one of the biggest townships.
Right.
So they declared it a township. Right. So the Indian farmers who were very productive, there were a lot of farmers there on bananas and ginger and tomatoes and name it over there, and they all had to leave the farms, and they paid everybody a pittance.
Why did they have to leave?
Because they declared it a black area.
Okay.
It was like Mayville area was declared a black area.
But aren't you black? Or does it work like very granular?
Yes.
So you're Indian, you're not black.
Yes, absolutely.
Explain that to us, because
because the thing is that it was very distinctive. Indians were separated. We had colors were separated. The blacks were, and then you had the whites.
Right.
So the Indian farms all over, including Chatsworth, Wolbidad, all these places, Cavendish, all were taken away.
Okay, because they were declared townships, which are for blacks only, or blacks only.
Yes.
And you guys had to just leave.
Yes. We had to give up all the farms. We virtually they gave everybody a pittance for 11 children. I think if you think about it, 5 million rand was what was.
I from what I know about Group Areas Act, it wasn't only designed to segregate just whites from non-whites.
Yes.
It was also like within the non-black community, so coloreds, Indians, because they would not allow like different races of non-blacks to mix. They wanted to divide everyone.
Yes. And that's the reason why they created Chatsworth, they created Phoenix, right? Eventually when we left there and we came to Greenwood Park, and Greenwood Park was divided to 3 areas. There are a white section, you had a colored section, and then you had an Indian section.
So was it literally overnight? So one day you were living on the farm,
No,
working the
they
land?
gave you 90 days.
90 days.
Yeah.
Well, that's virtually overnight. And then so
Yeah,
in 90 days,
Yeah.
you and your family have to pack up and move.
Yes.
And you said 5 million. That's a hypothetical figure you're using.
Ye-
Or was it 5 million?
No, I don't even know, but I know it was a pittance. Could have been much less.
Yeah.
Could have been much
So
less.
the government gives you money to move. And so you
No,
move.
yeah, they take over the farm. They take over the 1,000 hectares, basically.
Expropriation.
Yeah. It was land expropriation.
Okay.
Exactly what it was.
And then what did they expect you to do?
Yeah. No. You had to find your way.
So your parents
Yeah. So my parents
and three brothers.
Yeah. So our family was all split and divided, and so my father's brothers were all were split and divided. So one of my father's brothers went to Spingo, and we went to someone went to Clarewood. So everybody was almost.
Where did you go to?
We went to Greenwood Park.
Greenwood Park. Okay.
That's Durban North by Effingham.
Yes.
What age is this for you?
At 6 years old.
6 years. You just up and move.
Yeah.
And then no more playing on the farm and no more.
No,
So what do
nothing
you do?
overnight.
What do you do then?
Yeah, Greenwood Park is very steep.
So what do you do then? From the age of 6, what do you do?
So I came to the Greenwood Park school. Right. That's what happened over there.
And is it now? Is it almost like moving from the farm to an urban area? Did you take
Exactly.
time adapting?
Exactly. It was like that because we felt a bit alienated coming to a so-called urban area,
Yeah.
and you got technically like a simple farm mentality, and we never went to a movie house, and or never went to a town, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because everything we needed was in the farm, right? And everything we needed was you got there, and suddenly now we're exposed to tarred roads, and
And
suddenly.
bicycle.
How was that? What was that like?
Yeah, and believe me, it was almost like an upheaval in your. If I reflect back now, it affects your DNA, your consciousness, because we came from a freedom of expression and walking barefoot, and now suddenly you have to wear sandals and shoes, right?
And meeting up with like people your age were different. Or
Yeah.
also come from the farm?
Fortunately, the children were young, and so they were easily adaptable
Right.
in terms of having the free expression.
Yes.
So, and by God's grace, fortunately, we managed to settle in the area and house next to my mom's friend that grew up in Mayville together. It just some divine thing happened. So next door was my friend Segi Murdi. We were the same age. So his mom and my mom grew up in the same area in Mayville. So it just happened to be like that. It helped my mom so much in terms of adaptability into the area, and for us as well. So she had a friend, and actually we became friends.
Did you guys have TVs and stuff growing up?
No. There's no TVs.
Yeah, what year are we talking about?
Sure. 1960,
60. Wow.
60, what is it, 2, whatever.
So what do you do for fun in Greenwood Park?
A lot of fun we had.
Yeah.
We should play and play soccer, cricket, everything. But where's Effingham now, right? So the area was a very community-driven area, and the eldest of the area. So it's a very tiered area. So the eldest children took care of the younger ones and the younger ones. This is everywhere. It was a fantastic camaraderie, and the whole community owned everybody there, the children and families. And we played marbles, played tops, we played three tins, we played tennis.
What's three-tins?
Right. Played all those games you can think of. Played in India, right? Creating our own carts, building our own things, own cricket bats, and
your dad, what does he have to do now? Because he's moved away from the farm, right?
Yeah. So my dad had a house, a rental house. So my dad's father, my mom's father was a bookkeeper. He worked for a company called Bam Brothers. In Queen Street in Durban. So through his business contact, the Bam brothers were quite a big family in Durban. So they told him that there's a shop that's going to be for rent, and the people are called the Pillais. The Pillais were the biggest, owned almost the whole of Greenwood Park. And this was the Pillais family. So they said to me, they've got a house and they've got a shop to rent, and they said to me to consider. So we came here and we started off from virtually nothing.
Right.
And whereby my mom's saris were curtains.
What shop? So what are you doing there?
It was like a general dealer. If you think about it now, like a pick and pay hypermarket, right?
Oh.
A small version of that, selling anything and everything, from clothing to knives to cutlery to crockery to spices to.
What was it called? The shop?
It was called Elgin Trading Company. Elgin, Elgin Trading Company. It was in Mimbraideen.
Okay. Did you go and work there ever?
Yeah. We had to work there. It was part of the family DNA of people who got shops had to work there every weekend. Every weekend we worked, no matter how small we were.
What did you do?
We used to clean up the shop, pack up the groceries, dust the place, clean the cabinets, do lots of things there. Then my two older brothers were there. They should help with the till, with the serving customers, and I actually be more playful.
That's amazing, eh?
Yeah,
Wow.
So it's amazing what the Cooperative Act did, how it stripped the people of everything that you think of, of the so-called wealth that you had from farms. You thought you had wealth.
Wealth, farms, community, dignity,
Everything.
livelihood.
Yes.
Yeah, but if I could throw a spanner in the works, Doc, don't you think that, I mean, if you look at like yourself, for example, or any of your colleagues that were relocated at that stage, do you think that it could possibly have been a move in the right direction? Like, what if you were still a farmer and then later on, that's when, things went into turmoil at that stage and things were taken more aggressively? Like what happened in Zim, for example.
Yes,
no compensation.
yes, sure.
I know it's a loaded question, but what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it made us more resilient. And in retrospect, I'll give you a very good thing happened in the family, right? So my dad had they had six brothers. The three eldest one were the farming, the farmers technically. The younger brothers were. My father had said to them, if you want to progress to the younger brother, don't come to the farm. You must go and study. So what happened is the kicker of that is a fantastic system. So the three elder brothers, each one took one of the younger brothers under the wing. So my dad took the out of the three younger brothers, the elder of the three younger brothers, to study, and the second brother took one. That means they schooled them to study university, every single thing. Right? And it's a wonderful thing of sharing, and which we tend not to have now. I think that I wish we could reinforce that and now that the continuity of life, basically. So this is what happened. The good thing is that the three younger brothers became great academic scholars and academics in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, well, I think Yak threw a broken spanner into the works because he said he's going to throw a spanner. I mean, obviously, the Group Areas Act did not do good for people. It made life worse. And it made things difficult.
No, of course.
You had
I'm
to
not saying
adapt.
it was a good thing.
Yeah, you had to adapt.
I'm saying what you made of it.
Yeah. I think it made us resilient, and it made us blood, sweat, and tears, hard work.
But can you imagine how much better it would have been if you were just given an environment to thrive in?
Yes. Yeah. Because what happened is that when we came to Greenwood Park now, so my dad's younger siblings, some of them had to come and stay with us. They had to go to school. My younger auntie had to go to Durban Girls, and one of my uncles had to go to Ancestry College. So they had to come and stay with us. So we were renting in a house, three children, and together with my two other people. So we were seven in the house,
Never lonely.
Yeah. But we have to adapt to that, and but also sharing. It is something suddenly you lose everything, and how half pint of milk goes for everybody. For example, right? I'm giving the scenario. I taught a lot about tolerance and sharing and caring.
So what school do you go to then when you moved?
Yeah, so I went to Greenwood Park Primary School.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the dentistry thing, where does that come in?
So the dentistry thing that comes from that's much later. So people ask me why did I want to become a dentist, right? So my uncle that my dad took care of, right? So and he eventually became the dean of the school, the Western Cape, and then he went overseas and he was professor at university. So he was very close to us, and I always followed him, always been close to him, and so I always said that I want to be like him, right?
Okay. His name?
Reggie Reddy.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So he was the dean at Western Cape, where post-apartheid.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
She was the first black dean of the dental school there. So I always said that I want to be there. Since the age of 4 years old, I set my goal to become a dentist. Right. So all my cousins.
What age? Which age?
It's in the age of 4 years old.
Sure.
So I didn't want to deviate from that, right? So all my cousins became all in the medical field, most of them, all became doctors, right? People said, you're mad, right? You become a dentist. Why do you want to become a dentist? I said, we all teach you to become a good doctor. But I set my mind on it. I wanted to become a dentist. And this is what I did.
Because of J. Ram Reddy.
Yeah.
Where is he now?
He's now a retired dean. Retired, and then he was vice chancellor at the University of Durban Westville, right? And then from When he was Cape, he was the dean of the dental department at Durban Westfield. Then he became the vice chancellor. So he's now retired.
But no, Durban Westfield has a dental department.
It always had. It always had and still has, but the team dental therapists and certain patches of oral hygienists.
So they don't train dentists, or had they ever trained dentists?
No, never trained dentists.
Never trained dentists.
Never trained dentists. Yeah, the first dean was a guy called Janssen van Rensburg. He was the first head of department of the dental school. Eventually, he was in Pretoria.
So you knew from the age of 4 that you want to be a dentist?
Yes. Yeah. That's my pathway.
Because of Prof.
To some extent. But also then I got fascinated about teeth and all that. Even now, I'm very passionate about teeth. I brush my teeth about 5-6 times a day.
Why were you passionate about teeth? I mean,
Nutrition.
well, did you go to
That's true. I have it.
Like how often did you guys go to the dentist growing up?
Growing up, when my dad's brother qualified, we were the dentist almost every 6 months. But before that, you only go to the dentist, I think, if you had a problem, right? Otherwise, you never went to the dentist.
I've been asking dentists this recently. Did you floss growing up?
Once my dad brother qualified and we learned to floss our teeth.
I thought you meant once.
Flossed once. No, because a lot of us never grew up flossing.
Yeah.
A lot of people started flossing when they started dental school and things like that, when they learned about it properly. So
Yes.
at least your uncle ingrained that in you from a child.
But I was always interested on diet and health because I was an athlete.
Yeah.
Right. From a young age, I always knew that I had to have a certain percentage of. I had this self-taught thing in myself about protein and carbohydrates and all this different kinds of thing, and it became part of my lifestyle. And from young, so I was always conscious about eating, and Rejection knows that, right? Every knows me, right? About what to eat, how I eat, when I eat, all that.
Okay. So Greenwood Park Primary then becomes Greenwood Park?
And no. From Greenwood Primary School, we went to Ancestry College. So everybody from Greenwood Park used to go to Ancestry College.
Why? At what age? At what?
That's from so-called standard 7, which is what is a grade now?
Grade 9. So from grade 9. Standard 7,
you have to be standard 6.
Standard 6, yeah.
Grade
Also,
8.
standard 6, you leave Greenwood Park Primary.
Standard 5.
There's no standard 7.
No standard 7, which is a grade.
Oh, there's no high school, basically.
No high school, yeah.
So you move to high school, you go to Ancestry College.
Yes,
Where's Ancestry?
Ancestry College is in Winterton Avenue, right in the center of Durban, next to the Satan's Hospital.
And that is a well-known, very famous institution, right?
Yeah. Because Sri Lal Bahadur Sastry, who was the Consul General, so he lent his name to it, and he's the one. His family founding trust lent his name to that school.
And people that come from there are proud to have come from.
Yes. The school is 100 years now old, and I think they had the centenary celebration recently.
Okay, and then in high school now, you're aiming to do well to get accepted into medicine, or
yes.
And how does it? And then how do you do?
So when we finished, right? So I went to Wits for the interview, right? and
when you finish what? When you finish matric?
Yeah. So I wanted to do dentistry, right? So it was still very much Jewish, right, or very much white, should I say?
Yeah.
That this is how it is, right?
So what do you mean, predominantly white?
Yeah. And is it by chance you would?
When is this?
By chance you would think of getting into dental school in this was post 76, right?
Okay.
Over there, right? That you get to dental school. Then something happened over there, right? So they couldn't get into dental school, and then they chose to go to Westfield to do your BSc first year.
But wait, hold on. So you go for an interview at Wits?
Yeah, and you couldn't get to dental school. Couldn't get into it. Then they wanted you to do dental therapy, do a speech therapy, do other courses, and they said that you don't qualify.
Why? Were your marks not good enough? Or?
No, not marks good enough. But they just said that that there's no space for you.
Oh, because skin tone.
Yeah. The color was the gender.
Really?
Yeah.
But did they make it overtly?
No. They call you for the interview.
They call you for the interview.
They call you for the interview. No, they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that. They call you for the interview, face-to-face interview.
Right.
You submit your marks, they call you there for the interview.
But did any non-whites get in your year?
In my year, no. But there have been people have gotten maybe one on every 2 or 3 years, or every 5 years. That's how it was.
But did you have to be a remarkable student, or how did that work?
Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows.
It was an unspoken thing.
Yeah. Nobody really knows how you got. Even in Pretoria, there was one or two people got into Pretoria. How they got, nobody really knows.
So it's not like you didn't have the marks or you didn't have the
No. It's nothing to do with your marks. It's nothing to do with that. Right? It was almost a bizarre system of a.
So why do they even call you then?
Yeah, exactly.
It's for optics. Like
What optics? No, I don't. But I'm genuinely asking. I'm not probing, knowing the answer and all that stuff. I'm genuinely asking, why would they call you if it is a racist system at the time, right? Because apartheid was
yes
full swing, right?
Absolutely.
So why even bother to call you for an interview if they know that they're going to waste your time? I mean, what optics are they worried about?
They just
internationally. I don't know. Wits was worried about what they look like.
Yes, absolutely. It was a global school, and Wits was one of the world's best dental schools at one time, and Wits University per se, was in the top 20 of the world.
So do you think they were doing it to show the world that we're not calling these black
absolutely. And
they're just not good enough.
This is why once in 3 years, once in 5 years, they would get somebody into dental school.
Really?
And you heard of Dr. Motlanta. Right? Motlanta was one of them who got to dental school, got medical school.
And this is not like conspiracy theory. This is what happened.
Yes, no. This is a real fact of the matter. I mean, there was no rationale to it. To say that in year 1 somebody will get in year 2, there was nothing like.
But presumably they would justify it by saying you didn't perform well.
Yes, if you fail your interview, you fail. Some of them I know that you should get a little a quick on-site test, for example.
Yeah. So what did your interview go like?
My interview was fine. You know what? Because I didn't write any tests. This is merely an oral interview.
You go to Joburg from Durban.
Yes.
Had you been to Joburg before?
Never.
First time. Tell us about that. How do you get there? I'm interested in like these finer details.
But even before that, Doc, like what you told your dad now you want to study dentistry.
Yeah.
What was he like? Like, yes, go for it.
Yes. They were very happy about it, right? But Indian families were always will sacrifice education. My dad always said that we'll give you money for education, but we can't give you wealth in our legacy, right?
Yeah.
But everything is about education. The Indian families believe that education was our road to survival and success.
Okay.
Right, and so that's why they said that whatever money they always have, they always come together and put it together. This is what they did for my dad's 3 younger brothers. They made sure they qualified, they succeeded.
Okay, so you tell the old man, I want to do dentistry. He's happy. We'll support you as best as we can.
Yes.
You apply where?
Yeah.
Where do you apply?
Yeah, because at that time, Wits was only dental school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wits, and then Pretoria was the dental school.
So why did you apply to Pretoria?
No. Pretoria, it was unwritten rule that Indians don't apply
to Pretoria.
It was something like a rule, but it was an unwritten rule. And also we had to get a permit. To go from Durban to.
You have to apply for a permit from the government to travel to Pretoria.
To Johannesburg.
Even Joburg. Okay.
Yeah.
But so sorry to belabor this point or this question. So you decide not to even bother with Pretoria because they don't even care about optics. They're just not going to accept you. Or they might call you. Would they call people?
Yeah. But no, nobody from Durban ever mentioned Pretoria. It wasn't even on the radar, such as it's just an unknown. It was almost like an unwritten fact. It's you don't go to Pretoria because it's a white dominant Afrikaner place.
So you apply to Wits at least, and then how do you get to Joburg? Who applies for the permit and all that stuff?
Yeah. So my this people in the Indian community, somebody will help. Somebody knows somebody in the police department. Somebody will help and assist to get a permit. But it's a whole rigmarole because you have to go to the Department of Indian Affairs. Yeah, you have to go there.
Department of Indian Affairs.
Yeah, House of Delegates.
Yeah. You have to go there first, and then you go to the white department. You get another stamp on it.
A white department.
Right. Where they give you permits to travel.
What's the white department?
No, the Indians want to rectify you Indian, and you genuinely want to go for something, like to Johannesburg, and the white department will give you the stamp of the permit to travel.
So they give you the go ahead. Okay, this guy is going there because he's got an interview at Wits for dental school.
Yeah.
So you get that permit, and then how do you travel?
Yeah. So I had this lecturer at University of Durban Westfield, Professor Roy Jitu, speech and drama. So he was my speech therapist because I had a speech problem when I was young, stuttering. Okay. So him. So I went with his brother. They were going to Johannesburg.
Because I was going to ask you, how do you know this lecturer? But he was your speech therapist.
He was my speech therapist.
So he sort of go on.
Yeah. So he's the one facilitated this travel. I remember I stayed in Benoni, the so-called Actonville over there. And when I stayed in Benoni that time, Actonville had no roads, right? Actonville was just mud, right? It was all muddy. I remember this story.
So how did you travel then? Train or bus?
No, you travel by car.
Oh, nice.
Travel by car.
That's
And
cool.
we had to go through Newcastle. That's a long road.
Falls Rest,
Yeah. And then we stopped at the border post there.
Right?
outside of
yeah.
Falls
And you
Rest.
present your permit.
Yeah. Present your permit, and then when you enter here outside the now called Balfour Villiers area, another border post stop you there again.
Who you driving with at the time?
Yeah. His brother Anand Jitu.
Anand Jitu, and you come.
Yeah.
And you get to Wits.
Yeah.
So where do you go? Like, take me through this whole story.
Yeah. So Wits was in dental was in Jorrison Street.
Right.
Right
I know
there.
that my wife used to work in Jorrison, I think.
Yes.
Pressure.
Very near where you used to work.
At our old, our previous guests, one of his practices.
Yes.
Mansoor's practice.
Yes.
On Jorrison.
Yeah.
So you drive and you make it through the border post.
The sounds are coming from India.
You go straight
all over again.
You go straight to Wits. You don't even go and visit somebody or stay over.
No. We get to Actonville and we stay the overnight.
Okay, you stay overnight.
Yeah.
Whose place is it?
Yeah. So the lecturer, Professor Anand Jitu's cousin, used to live in Actonville.
And first time you're meeting this person.
Yeah, never met him before in my life.
Okay, hello, I'm just coming for the interview. Thank you for letting me stay here.
My papers.
And tomorrow's the interview.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we leave after the interview back to Durban.
Okay, no, but you stop skipping. No, stop skipping. So you go to this interview the next day.
Yeah.
Anand Jitu takes you there.
Yeah.
He waits in the car or something.
Yes.
You get in there, and when you walk into Wits, what's it like?
Yeah. By the way, I had to go alone there, and he couldn't come in.
No, what do you mean? He had to drop you off outside Wits.
Yeah. On the roadside.
Wow. How do you even know where
This
to
is why I want
go?
this granularity, because you it might feel normal to you, but to me this is like bizarre.
Absolutely bizarre.
He drops you off outside.
Yeah.
You walk into the gates. There's a guard there that has
Yeah. And these all were whites, right? Because there was no sort of black guards, everything.
1976.
Six.
You walk in.
Yeah.
So you get in now. Obviously, you're feeling like unwelcome already.
Yes.
Then where do you sit? Where do you wait? Can you remember all of
Yeah. No, I recall. We wait in a bench outside, right outside the interview room.
Any other non-whites next to you sitting there?
No. I was the only one that were there at that time. Yeah, I was at 8:00, so I was there at 7:45.
Yeah. And then somebody calls you in.
Yeah. They could call me in there.
And you sit there.
Yeah.
And how many people are on the panel?
There were 10.
10 people.
Yeah.
Each department.
I'm guessing all men, all white men.
Yeah. All.
And what did they ask you?
Yeah. She said, ask me why you want to study dentistry, where you come from, and why you think you'll succeed.
So like this scene, so like basically a podcast.
Yeah. Right. Well, what makes you want to study dentistry, and why you think you'll succeed, and why you think that you can make a difference, the difference to people's teeth,
And did they ask you if you opened up a watch? If they asked you, have you ever opened up a watch?
No.
You didn't get that question. You know why I asked?
Yeah.
Mark Wertheimer, you know him.
Yeah.
Orthodontist.
Yeah.
He told me about his interview at
Yeah.
Wits, and I can't remember the name of the person, but they asked him.
Professor Preston must be.
And, we'll have to double check. They asked him, have you ever opened up a watch? And then somebody asked him if he knows what a spring can is and how many teeth does a spring can have.
Yeah.
A spring can is a grasshopper.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to hear how his interview went.
Yeah.
So you didn't get any of those bizarre type of
No,
things.
my interview was so mundane and was so like
Checkbox.
almost like and almost like checking. Are you
Formality. Basically.
Yeah, I felt as if it was just an incidental interview. There was nothing scientific about it.
Okay, just to say they've interviewed this
Yeah, and almost to get and they asked me a lot of questions: where I come from, what's my backgroround, or asked me a lot about those kinds of things.
Did you get a chance to ask them any questions, and did you?
No, they didn't ask me to ask them questions.
Okay.
They didn't ask me to ask them any questions.
How did you feel? Were you nervous or?
No, I just felt totally. I knew at that time I was like totally. I was like disengaged with the interview process.
Had you interacted with white people before this?
Yeah. When my father had the business in Elgin Trading, so we used to deliver groceries to the chairman of Coral Brick, Mr. Johnson, at his house in Rosehill. Right, that was and few of the directors because they insisted my father used to need to come personally, and you couldn't send the groceries with any of the workers. to the house.
So you were an Uber Eats delivery guy.
Uber Brown.
Mr. D. Mr. Red D.
Right. So my father had to deliver the groceries to the house personally.
And you went tagged along sometimes to carry the groceries.
Yeah.
But that's the limit of your interaction.
Yeah. For example, they wouldn't allow blacks to come into their delivery. My dad had to take it himself.
Sure.
Yeah, that's how.
But that's the extent of the interactions you would have with white people as a service provider.
Yeah. And when Mr. Johnson used to come to the shop there, and he would not come into the shop.
Yeah.
He would sit in his car, and he had a Rolls Royce.
Wow.
I won't forget that, right? So my dad had to go and ask him what he wanted. He'll give them a list. Right, and then he used to smoke. He smoked this Van Rijn cigarettes. So he should have a carton a week, right?
Yeah.
He should order a special cigar. But Dad had to take it for him, and he should give him the list, and then he should deliver. Or his wife would come in the car, sit outside, and they knows outside the right outside the shop, and they must presume that they're waiting outside. Somebody knows if they're coming there, like almost like
royalty,
VIP, royalty. And so we used to go and get a personally delivery of the list, taking there, and then after a few days, it must go delivery to the house.
Wow.
So the service on slow though. Days.
Days. There's an app for that now, Doc.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but let's go back. That interview. So I mean, you'd hardly interacted with white people before. Now you're sitting in a room full of white people.
I'm telling you, it's quite intimidating.
I can imagine.
Right, and I was 17, right?
Sure, yeah.
Right. I mean, for a 17-year-old to go to an interview is quite an experience.
At Wits,
yeah,
were you already not wanted?
Yeah, and you immediately felt that you were not wanted. I mean, you felt. I actually, when I finished the interview, I felt that I didn't want to be there.
Yeah, but you still
to do dentistry.
But if you'd gotten it, you would have gone there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have, but I just felt a very hollow feeling myself that I don't think it's a place that they wanted me and I wanted to be also. I think when I left there,
it's sad. It's really sad. So what happens? You go back to Durbs the next day.
Yeah. Then I go to university.
No, wait. So they contact you and they say no, you didn't get it. Thanks.
Yes.
Telegram or how does it?
Yeah, but telegrams.
Telegram, huh?
Yeah, telegram.
And then what happens next?
Yeah. Then I enrolled for the university for the BSc course.
Which university?
Durban Westport.
Okay. So you do your BSc and then you do well.
Yeah.
What's the goal of applying for BSc?
Yeah, the BSc. So everybody said if you do first year BSc, then you can get into medicine or dentistry there afterwards.
Also at Wits?
Yeah, Wits, and then afterwards, the Western Cape opened up.
So it opened up in 77, 78.
78 it opened up. But I got into a casualty situation. Then there was uprising in Durban, Westville, and then the Western Cape. They were going to take us there into a prelim scientific program. Lots of guys who went there.
Hold on, this might have been the similar time when Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi was.
Yes, correct.
He just mentioned that they weren't letting blacks in at one stage in Durban.
Correct.
And then there was a protest.
Correct. He's right.
So this is probably the same time. What an overlap, eh?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what happens? You do the BSc.
Yes.
How long is that?
Yeah. It's a 1-year program.
1 year, and then
right. And then the whole thing got disrupted. The uprising started, and everything just exploded in the country, and virtually almost like the university didn't function for a year and a half. The university almost 2 years. The whole country came to standstill.
And then
over there.
So what do you do in those?
Yeah, and then I got involved with the student politics over there with my friend J Naidu there.
Okay.
With Jayendra and Jaisal Naidu, who became the first minister in the.
Oh, as in J Naidu, the famous
Jay with curly hair.
How did you get involved there?
So Jay and I we were in school together in Ancestry College.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So what did you do? How
he was minister of?
Minister of Reconstruction and Development, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I think something like that his portfolio was called.
So what were you doing with him?
Yeah. So all involved with the friends and the politics of the students uprising and organizing the students in terms of the student politics and making sure everybody is like aligned to the UDF and the democratic processes of the country.
So dentistry took the back seat.
Yeah. During that time, because we got caught up because something. A year and a half, the whole country came to a standstill. There was virtually no classes, no studying. everything. And even that time, said the guy said you go to Western Cape, but then Western Cape was not an option at that time. So because Western Cape was worse than UDW. Western Cape for 2.5 years, I think, almost didn't have any studies and all that.
So how do you get into dentistry? What happened?
So eventually I got involved in this political thing in terms of the J&J, and then lots of people said because of the nature of the security force and the police, so they recommended that lots of people like myself who got involved with J&J in politics should leave the country.
Okay, because your life was in danger.
Well, they were locking people up, right, and they locked Jay up at that time as well. Right, into prison, right? And so I left the country.
Oh.
Yeah, right. So then I left to Swaziland. And to Swaziland, I left to Mozambique. From Mozambique, I went to Tanzania.
Wow. Why?
I didn't know you were a political refugee.
and from Tanzania, I went to London.
Why do you do all this?
Right, because of the nature of the politics of the country. Because the apartheid government controlled Swaziland. They controlled the Mozambican border. Right, so you had to go into the ANC camps as far away as possible. Those who were involved in shooting politics at that time.
Why did the apartheid government want to lock you guys up?
Yeah, because if anybody was in opposition to them, anybody that felt that there was a threat to the government status quo, were getting locked up, and almost on a random basis, hundreds of guys.
How did you rally up people to support? I mean, there was no WhatsApp or social media those days.
But it was a fantastic system, right? It was a fantastic underground networking system. It's always by year, word of mouth.
Yeah.
And it's about this amazing system of networking silence. And it's almost like, the concept of the Cuban system of Che Guevara's system of working underground and networking, and whereby the whisper was the dictum of communication. It was like that. It was a fantastic networking system of an underground cell system.
Can you give us some insight into that?
Yeah, for example, that each one would belong to a certain cell, right? In each cell, you'd either have 3, 6, or 9 people in a cell, right, of communication. So you're able to communicate at certain time, certain hour, certain day, at certain place. You almost like, you wouldn't, and then, for example, I communicate with Yak, and Yak communicate with you communicate with Yuvati. It'll go on like that, cascading way. And then you will assemble at a certain point, and without you even knowing you've assembled, but in a big crowd of 1,000 people, there will be 10 people who have organized the whole program.
But it sounds like sorry.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be open you up to a broken telephone situation. But I know also at that stage, the apartheid government, they demonized that gathering, or that, as you're saying, because they were calling it, a mkhonto of fighters.
Yes.
And almost like guerrilla warfare.
Yes,
they were
yes.
like calling you guys terrorists.
Yes, absolutely. They banned gatherings at one time, right? But because of the nature of the volume of people that were sort of uprising, and they couldn't stop it. They no way they could stop it, because because we had international media, and we had Reuters behind us. And
were you not scared that you're going to get locked up?
Yeah.
Did you come close? Did you come close to it?
Yeah, very close. Almost like to the minutes of getting locked up.
What happened
then imagine I smuggled myself out of the country. Just daringly, right? I was helped up by the underground network. I went through Jan Smuts airport, right? In a disguised way to Swaziland, the smallest plane that took. Nobody thought people go to the border. They were guarding the border, but they didn't guard their flight to Swaziland, because they thought that nobody would dare to go to a small plane that landed in the Manzini airport, right?
And this disguise? What do you mean?
They want you to disguise yourself into your...
You went in disguise.
Yeah,
what did you wear?
Yeah. Disguise whereby you almost have a beard, you have a mustache, suddenly you look different completely.
So how did you do it? Wow. What did you look like, and what did you change to?
I changed a beard and mustache, and you're like an older person. You'll never even
So you put it on, you glued on a beard.
Yeah.
And did you have an alias and things? Oh no.
Yeah. I was called David Modley.
David Modley.
That's a very big change.
Do you know who David Motsamai is?
No.
Do you know, Doc?
No.
David Motsamai.
Yeah.
He was Nelson Mandela. That's Mandela's alias when he was on the run and he got
Yeah.
caught. David Motsamai.
What's my? Oh yes, correct. I remember that.
So
now.
you were David Woodley. Maybe they had him in for DMs. Huh?
Yeah,
And you
maybe.
slid
That's
into
how
the
they
DMs.
communicate.
And you slid through. So you went from Jansmat, which is now currently OR Tambo, right? Jansmat.
Yes.
And you fly to Swaziland. It wasn't being monitored because they didn't think anybody would have this. You would want to go to Swaziland.
No, they didn't think they will dare to go to Menzini Airport.
And David Woodley goes there
Yeah.
on a plane to Swaziland. Then you end up in Mozambique.
Yeah. And then somebody told me that I must go to the underground network. I must go to the Holiday Inn. I must be there for 3 days. And the guy from pharmaceutical industry, one of the pharmaceutical reps, also involved in the ANC, will contact me.
And who would you say somebody told you? How did they tell you? Like somebody actually comes up to you and says, "Hey, David, you need to go here or there." How does it work?
They said to me that they will come and they will contact me.
Wow.
Right.
Sure. And like financing, who finances all of
It
this?
was just, yeah. My dad had given me some money to take with me right over there, and and you just it's a lot to learn faith. I
Were
must tell you.
were you married at the time?
No, single.
Single? You're hopping from one country to the other, basically avoiding arrest.
Yeah. Well, what did I say? So I got into after 3 days, the guy, the pharmaceutical rep, contacted me. Right, and his name was so-called Karolia, but obviously that was not his real name.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
that's not his real name. So he contacted me and he put me in touch with the so-called this thing called the White House in Swaziland,
Right.
where the part of the center, that was underground center there in Swaziland, outside Mbabane.
Mm.
So I was housed there, right, for about 48 hours. And
That's 2 days. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was 2 days. I was out after the 3 days as a holiday in there, and then the guys told me they'll meet me at a pub. With the NCA, one of the guys told me 3 days somebody will come and tap you on the shoulder. We'll do that.
Wow, it's a movie.
This is like a spy movie.
Yeah,
And then
right.
somebody comes and taps you, and then what happens?
Yeah, right. And he tells me who he is and everything, and he told me that tomorrow morning just be ready. Somebody will come and fetch you.
And you are ready. You're
Yeah.
always ready. But you were Woodley. You were Woodley, not with David. That's the one time you weren't ready.
Yeah, and then I go to this underground White House, right, over there, right, and so they go there. I was there for 2 days, and then I get transported. I get transported with a truckload of cows. I'm inside the truck with the cows.
Really?
Yeah, right, with the cows.
In between the cows, you are.
Yeah, right, in the
but
cows.
Luckily, you're from
Yeah.
the farm, so you know.
Yeah, familiar territory.
Yeah, so they asked me, right? So I said, no, fortunately, because, you grew up in a way that's almost like rural, in your upbringing, right? So you don't get messed up. You don't think about getting messed up and all
Yeah.
these kinds of things,
And you can do it.
This was
over there.
nothing for you.
Yeah, I think so.
Also
So there's a convoy of transport goes, right? They say they're transporting these cows to Mozambique, and so there's a decoy that takes place, right? In terms of you have 2 vehicles before you, then you are the third one, and you have 2 vehicles after you. Yeah, right. There's 5 vehicles. So I was almost shot. So the vehicle before me was shot in bullets. They sprayed the bullets into that vehicle. They thought that's a vehicle carried the underground fugitives.
As in you.
Yeah, as in me, but it wasn't me. Right, that was the empty vehicle.
Yeah. That's
Sure.
hectic, eh?
Yeah.
Were there other people with you?
Which no, I was
you.
alone.
So you were the target.
Yeah.
You must have been quite like
Yeah.
important, quite an important person in this movement.
Yeah. I was involved with Wuji, and we
Because
were
you're close to
we were part of the organizing the underground student network.
You should write a book, Doug.
Yeah, I'm writing a book.
Okay, good. 'Cause,
Yeah.
we could have done with reading it before we had this. I had no idea. I had no idea.
I'm as surprised as you are, and I
Okay.
thought I knew, Doc.
No, most people don't know.
Yeah.
Even my own family,
Oh,
my
wow.
my own family.
But wait, take
They
us,
all they suspect something about it.
but then take us. Okay, so you've heard it here first, exclusive. And that's why I needed to make sure everything was recording carefully. Then you go to Mozambique, and then
Yeah. So then I go to the border post in right in Namahasha. Is a
wait. So that
So
vehicle gets shot, and I'm assuming people die in that car.
no.
There's no one there.
There was nobody there. They opened the
The
vehicle.
driver?
No, the driver's there. Driver's in the front
Yeah.
of the small truck,
Mm.
right? The driver's front, but they shoot the people behind the on the so-called cabin
Yeah,
of the truck. It looks like a truck that carries cows,
Yeah.
but there's nothing in that vehicle.
Okay, then everybody keeps on moving.
Moving, and then they come here and they check, open this thing with the torch.
Yeah.
The security forces. Security forces in those days had freedom in Swaziland. Swaziland was virtually controlled by South African whites,
Okay.
and they looked inside of the torch. They couldn't find me.
So you can see this light, this
Yeah,
torch
yeah,
light going
yeah,
around,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you're parking quiet there among the cows and the others.
Yeah.
And,
I was
holy
I was totally in black. Right? I was totally in
Right.
black.
crazy. This is amazing.
Yeah. Right.
Imagine if you had cell phones those days.
Yeah.
So you see this torch coming, and then you're obviously now panicking.
Yeah, but you're so quiet. You're
Yeah.
you're almost like you can't even whisper. You can't
Yeah.
even get your heart rate up. Right? And fortunately, right.
What age are you at this time?
What is it? I was 20.
20. So, and you peak fitness and everything. So
Yeah.
but you must have been sweating.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, you won't believe it, right? It's an uncanny thing if I tell you the calmness and the coolness. And because I was always I grew up in the spiritual light in the Divine Society and part of the Sa organization. So we were involved in pranayama, yoga, and meditation. So during this whole journey of mine, what kept me grounded is my spirituality.
Okay.
Right? And I was unusually calm. I can't even tell you. Right? I was not even sweating if I tell you. Ask me if I was sweating.
Amazing. No, I believe that. I totally believe it.
Yeah, right. So, and I get to the border post in Namasha,
Right.
and this is almost like on dawn, right? You get dawn. So they drop you off not at the border post, but before the border post, and they somebody there from the NC underground from the border to pick you up.
Yeah. Is it black guys?
Yeah. One of the senior black guys from the underground movement.
And you'd never met them before?
Never met them before. Right. So they knew that I was coming.
What an amazing system, and obviously a big system of trust. Right?
Oh yes, trust.
That might be a spy.
And exactly, because that's what the apartheid government started to do. They started paying black people to infiltrate the movement.
Exactly.
But you had to take it, on
the word.
Face value. Yeah.
So you meet this guy, and then
you meet the guy, and then they then just across about when I got where we are, not even about 3 kilometers away, and we could hear guys, the Afrikaner guys and black guys talking in Afrikaans, right about 3 kilometers away, and we had to sit in this big grass still for about an hour and a half without even moving. Because they were about a kilometer away from a kilometer and a half around us where they were going. Right, and so I felt that they felt something was on. So we wait for an hour and a half. So we got there in the morning. I must say about 4:30 in the morning, and only about 6 o'clock. Then we had to creep across the border to Namasha border. It took us 2 hours. Right, creeping on the grass and moving right, virtually on the grass.
But once you got through there, I mean, Mozambique was less regulated than Swaziland.
Yeah, then we got then another set of guys took over from the guy who escorted me from the Swaziland border to the Mozambique border. There was another set of guys took me across.
But when you're crawling and creeping and crawling, I mean, you could just be shot dead.
Yes, absolutely.
They would have just shot you dead.
Yeah.
Okay, get to Mozambique then. What else?
Then the another set of ANC underground movement to take you there.
Yeah.
And then from there that you go to a place called Namasha. That's a border post. That's a border. So there's another underground house there. So it's a double-story house. There's another underground house there, in the basement where you can stay. And
literally underground.
Yeah. Underground.
For how long do you stay there?
I was there for 2 days.
Yeah, and then what's next?
From 2 days there, then they move you to another house. To
the north, moving up.
You're moving up. Then they moved us to Maputo, and then from Maputo, then you stay there for 5 days, Maputo, and there I met all the big ANC brass tacks, from Zuma to Thabo Mbeki to name it, Motlanthe, and Joe Slovo. Joe Slovo. Then they ask you the stories, and exactly you give them a narrative of what's happening internally the internal ANC situation, who's involved. So
Because they were in exile as well.
Yeah, they were in exile.
Wait, hold on. I mean, this is fascinating. So they're all located there, and you speak to them
no,
like this.
Yeah. But they come in, drive in there, and they drive out because the different people, the different units of the ANC. Slovo was running one, Zuma was running the underground intelligence. Thabo Mbeki was involved in something, and the late what you call it, Tambo, Oliver Tambo. All those different people.
So will they know you if they see this show? Will they recognize you? Do you think? What do you think?
I don't know. Mac Maraj and Indras Naidu. Indras Naidu from Indonesia, and Indras Modi from Durban, was now late. Involved with them. So Indras Modli, I lived with him in Swaziland, and we were in a house of bats.
But there were just bats living in the house.
Yeah. I was there for 2 days with him.
Yeah.
Right over there. We had to move in. This is what
constantly moving.
Yeah.
And what happens after Mozambique?
Yeah, so after Mozambique, and then I went to Tanzania.
Yeah.
Right. In Tanzania, we went to a place called Morogoro, was the ANC camp. And from there, they take you to a place called Mazimbu. Mazimbu is where the people that they want to send out to for education.
It's training, yeah. It was a training center.
The Morogoro is a training center, and Mazimbu is where the people go for education. So when you're too hot property, they tell you can't join the active Mkonto. You have to do education.
How do you know all this? Yeah,
I read about it.
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't there.
Carry on. Yeah? You did history in school?
No.
So how do you know?
Interest.
I want to hear it from the actual person. No,
so we went to the Mazimbu camp.
What was the goal of all of this movement?
Okay,
Why were they moving?
The move because of safety and security.
Yeah.
So the ANC in Morogoro, it was almost like an ANC colony. Then from there, all the education people would send them to school to study with the political education, dentistry, medicine. So the ANC developed a cadre of people across the spectrum, from engineers to medical, dental people. All right. So Mazimbu was the camp where the people used to go in transit for education.
This is all making sense. So basically, the end goal of this was to get you educated.
Yeah.
In dentistry.
Well, whatever you choose.
It had nothing to do with dentistry, I don't.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So Mazimbu, it's called.
Yeah.
What happens there?
Yeah. So from there, and so I told them that I want to do education, because otherwise you either could give you choices. Like I do like military sciences. You can choose a lot of kids. I choose them that I want involved in the health sector.
It's amazing. And who are all the people that are here? Like at this camp, who do you see?
All different people from all over the country.
All of South Africa.
Yeah, all over the country.
Tanzania.
Yeah.
And so what's that like?
Who
do you meet? Do you see anybody you recognize?
No. Nobody I recognize. Because our unit from Durban, I was only one that came out of the unit from Durban. The other people had gone to Zambia. Some people gone to Zimbabwe. Right. But I went through. Some people went to Botswana route.
So it's a camp full of political activists that are coming to be either educated or putsa. That's fascinating.
Were there any whites?
Yeah.
That were in exile.
Yeah. They were the whites in Tanzania.
Okay.
The whites. It's amazing. Even when the ANC structure, right? The whites were in a different camp.
Oh wow!
It's crazy. It's so bizarre, right?
Crazy.
Right. It's so bizarre.
Oh, they would have thought they could have been spies, even.
But ANC were very smart. They cemented people. And they also monitored people as well.
With the women.
Because remember what?
Women were separate as well.
So women were there.
Yeah.
Because remember what Aaron, the minister, said when he was interested in all of these speakers and whatnot. But the only time that he went and listened was when it was the professor from the university who was a white person who was speaking out against apartheid.
Yes.
And
but okay, so it's fascinating. There were white people there, but they were also separated.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, even though it's the same political goal, right?
Yes.
So the goal is obviously to overthrow the apartheid government and to get
yes.
Okay, so you tell.
And the whites were very well organized, and Slovo had his all Jewish segment of people heavily involved in the ANC, and they were obviously high-powered, fluent in terms of influencing United Nations, influencing governments throughout the whole world. So they were throughout Africa, or wherever you went.
And once you get to this Mazimbo place now,
Yeah.
is it a camp or what?
Yeah. It's a camp. It's a big farm camp, but also they got they want people to study education. See, everybody there as well. That the older people will teach the younger one. It goes on like that.
Oh, in the camp.
In the camp.
And how long but did you feel safe there? Once you get there,
Yeah, very safe.
You're no longer
safe.
crawling and creeping,
No.
hiding with the cows and all that stuff. You're in a safe place.
Safe place.
And how long do you stay there?
Yeah. So I was there for a month there.
Right.
Yeah. And from there, and then they gave you a choice in the world. United, there's a guy, Mendy Semang. Mendy Semang was the one of the first ambassadors from the ANC post-apartheid in London. So he was in charge of the education portfolio. So
at the camp.
Yeah. There at the camp. He was in charge. So he would facilitate your devolution of responsibility of where you want to study and what you want to do. And then they give you a choice eventually, right? Then they send you to transit in London. This is what to study in Europe. You transit to London, Australia. So London was the transit point of
like the main hub.
Yeah,
the Heathrow for activists that are going to study elsewhere.
Yeah.
So you get sent to London after a month.
Yeah. London. Yeah.
First time you're going overseas. Like literally over the sea.
Yeah.
In your life. Or not really.
Yes.
And you go on a plane, obviously.
Yeah.
First time on a plane.
Yes. No. I went to plane Swaziland. You remember?
Oh yeah. Sorry. But the first international flight.
Yeah.
Not as
But you're not treated like. How does it work? So when you get onto that plane, you're not like treated as different.
So basically, you have two passports. You have your United Nations passport and you have your South African passport, which you smuggle your South African passport, we keep with you, and then your nation passport. And so you have to throw one passport away. You have to throw your United Nations passport away. They tell you that.
Where? What do you mean?
In the plane, you have to throw it away.
What?
So you have to destroy it.
So to get on the plane, you need the UN passport.
Yeah. Get on the plane.
And then you destroy it on the plane.
Yeah.
And there's a group of you all going to London.
Yeah, but you're all not even known to each other.
But
that's how it is.
So it's secret, but it's not.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. And then you get to London. What happens?
Yeah,
there?
you get to London, and then somebody meets different people. You don't meet all the people together.
Oh, so it's not like you're all on an excursion and you all get there.
No.
Point.
Nothing. Yeah, because security forces everywhere. The whole world was security forces.
So who do you meet and what do you do?
Yeah. So I meet Indres Budley. Who was originally from Durban. He was Professor at UKZ and in the pot pharmacy. Right, he was there. He was in London. He was in Exile in London.
Right. And he greets you, and then what do you do?
He said, yeah. So I met him. So I meet him in London, and he tells me. Then I met what's his name? Fatima Mir's son. What's his name now? I just
who Fatima Mir's son?
Yeah, son. The one who died in an accident. I just forget his name now.
Rashid?
Yeah, Rashid. Yeah.
I just Google that now.
Yeah. Rashid and I got him very well.
He was an activist who went into exile in London for nearly 14 years during the apartheid era. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Did you meet him?
Yeah. So in Indus, I meet Rashid, and then we speak about what we want to do and everything. And then Indus said that, why didn't we bring your parents over? Because Indus's wife is from Greenwood Park, Kriba. So they knew my parents. So we managed to connect up with them. Then they came over to London.
Your folks.
Yeah. Right. Over there at that time. So after so many months, we met them, and then we looked at different options to study. And then Mendy Semang gave you the option, United Nations, to study what you want to do, dentistry in London, where you want to do. Then they give you a choice. You go to India, you go to Australia, you go to Russia, you go to Germany, whatever it is. So my philosophy was that I'm in divine destiny. Wherever it may, I'm supposed to go, I'll go. And so Mendy Semang and Indra said, I mean, he's got a brother in India, so why didn't you send him to India to study, to the ANC office there? And this is how it happened. So I just left it openly. I didn't say I must do this. I always believe my destiny must be such that wherever I'm supposed to be, I'll go.
But that's so cool. You could have chosen anywhere.
I could have chosen anywhere.
There was still a prerequisite that you needed to. Like what? How would you apply for that?
They would do the applications, everything for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would facilitate. They were very good through United Nations, through the UNESCO office. They will help the ANC guys.
Yeah.
Facilitate. Very good. I could have gone anywhere. Basically, to Canada, I could have gone. I could have gone to
I mean, all of this is ANC funded.
not ANC fund, United Nations.
United Nations.
United
But
Nations.
this travel, like getting your parents over.
No. That's the own. That's the.
Oh, they had to pay themselves.
Yeah.
And when you were doing this whole trek across countries and stuff, were you carrying a backpack, or how did you take clothes with you?
Yeah. I had a backpack with me, right?
Just a backpack.
Yeah, I had backpack.
Doc still carries a backpack till this day.
But all those countries, you cross through, even with the cows, you got the backpack.
Yeah.
Really? You never know his Doc's backpack till
No,
this day.
I mean-
I always wondered what's in there.
That's amazing.
His passport.
What did you have in the backpack?
I said just as I had some of my clothes, right? Much later on, they managed to get when my parents came, they got some clothes.
Toothbrush? Did you carry a toothbrush?
Floss.
Did you carry a toothbrush and floss? No, seriously.
No, I had a toothbrush with me.
Wow. You don't need to carry a cell phone charger.
Yeah, please. But then how Lucknow? Like, how did you choose? That's far.
Yeah,
Lucknow's in India. right?
Yeah. So when I got to India, right? So it said to me India that that you have to spend some time in India to decide what you want to do. So I got to India at a time whereby the term I couldn't enroll for the year. Because it was already in August and the university starts in July.
Okay.
In July, so I got into the term. So they said to me, "Let's say you can go wherever you want to." And so my brother, he studied in a place called Udaipur in Rajasthan. Right, he did his BSc there. So he said to me, "I mean, why didn't you think of Rajasthan?" So I said, "No, I mean, I'm ready to go anywhere." I mean, I was quite adventurous,
Because you're no longer Mudli now, you're ready again.
Yeah. So as you know, I'm always adventurous. So I was ready for this unknown challenge, right? And so I landed in this place called Udaipur for 1 year, and then afterwards, then I apply. They asked me where you want to go. So it gave me choices to study in Bangalore, in Delhi, in Calcutta.
Wait, what did you do for 1 year then?
I did a BSc. I learned Hindi. I learned it's a bit of agriculture, botany, and I did some interesting things. I did.
Back to the roots.
But you didn't have fun. Like, you don't do anything fun there.
No. I enjoyed it.
That was the fun.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I love Rajasthan. I cycled.
No, that's beautiful.
I saw all of Rajasthan, and from Jodhpur to the deserts and to all that, and Jaipur and Ajmer. I enjoyed every bit of it.
Okay.
Actually,
So it's not only academics that you do.
No. It helped me to absorb India.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, to enter India, and I was fascinated with culture, music, traditions. I learned Hindi, and
Yeah, the first time you're going to the land of your grandparents.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you felt like
And
you're home.
yeah, and I really took to it. And people were surprised, how you took to it.
This is 1978.
Yeah.
1978.
Yeah. And for me, I enjoyed it. It was a revelation in my life for me. For me, going to an unknown area, and I love culture, I love tradition, I love learning.
And nobody's chasing you. Nobody's trying to lock you up, right?
No, I'll come to that, right? To this stage, right? So what happens is that when I got to, so there was a guy called Sykes from the police force security, and he was from Verulam, and there was another guy with him. So he infiltrated the student movement in India, and he studied in a place called. One of them studied in Pune, other one studied in Indore, and they came as students. But they were part of
the apartheid government.
Part of the security force.
Oh, like as in like the people that were trying to find you.
Yes.
Security force.
Yeah.
The apartheid government.
Yeah.
Oh,
so they infiltrated.
Are they Indian? Were they
Indian. Yeah.
Oh,
so they
that's when
infiltrated the student movement there.
So they were spies. Like.
Yeah, spies.
For the apartheid.
They infiltrated the ANC office there in Delhi. Was the ANC office. They right. Twice they ransacked my room and stole my passports.
Sykes.
Twice it happened.
Okay.
Twice. And you won't believe it, I only knew about him when I came back to South Africa. Much later.
Why did they take your passport? So you can't. What's the point?
Can't
of
come
that?
back.
Yeah. No. This make your life miserable for stealing your passport, stealing your things. This make your life difficult. Basically, making your life unbearable. That's what I want to do.
Okay. Wow.
You
And
know.
how's dental school? Where and what?
So then they gave me a choice. So eventually they said to me, Mindy Samang said to me, your brother is studying in Lucknow. Why didn't you go study in Lucknow? But I wanted to go to Bangalore. Right? This is but I put a party was near Bangalore. This was my idea. Was to go.
Well, you want to take us on that journey now, parallel to all of this,
Yeah.
right? From the Sai organization.
Yeah.
How did you start? How did you get involved with that?
So
and when?
Okay. So let's break on this part here. Journey. We'll come back to this journey here. Right?
Okay.
So I grew up in the Divine Life Society. Right when we were in Greenwood Park.
Swami Vivekananda.
Swami Sivananda.
Shivananda.
So my dad was always very spiritual in his life, but he was not very ritualistic. He didn't like us to do a Kavadi, for example. He didn't like to do all this things happening in his Pingo temple, with this chicken, whatever. Anything ritualistic, he was anti-ritualistic. Everything was to be very scientific for him and very spiritual. So he taught us in that way. And all the Swamijis that came from the Divine Life, the Ramakrishna Society or whatever it was, we went to, and I was very young. I was like, literally, I was 6 years old. But to my two brothers, used to find me like an irritant with them around, so they were older than me. So they take me to these lectures, and even Oriental. I could remember these places, right? But I actually fall asleep, but I could remember these things, falling asleep, and remember these things subconsciously. So we were in the Divine Life Society, right, from young. Then eventually the Divine Life and this organization merged in Greenwood Park.
And which Sai organization?
Yeah, this organization, the both organizations merged in Greenwood Park together. And then, they begin to teach us what we taught in Divine Life, meditation, yoga, Bhavika, so that. So they begin to teach us this sort of thing. That was my first early entry into this organization, right? And then eventually that, so we were very conscious of this, but we were, we loved Divine Life because it was non-ritualistic. So my dad always said to me, that's the way we should all grow up with. Understand religion, but understand the science behind it. I said, why are you doing it? Right? And not so. And we accepted Divine Life and this organization because it's very universal. And my dad said also embrace universality. And our neighborhood as well was Muslims, Christians, everybody was very universal. So we grew up in that kind of consciousness. And though my grandfather was very ritualistic when he was alive, but my dad told us, don't follow this.
Okay.
Right? He said, just understand what you're doing. Don't do if you don't understand.
Okay.
So this I got into this universal thinking of the Sathya organization. So when I was in India and Lucknow, so my cousin of mine who did engineering, he studied in Chandigarh. So when I went to visit him after the first year visit him in Chandigarh, so there was this big Sai function on a Thursday, and I was astounded. Everybody was in white and huge crowds, about 300 people in this hall on a Thursday. But
on a school night,
what was in awe and wonder. 300 people are so quiet, right? In this hall and having this sort of called program of devotion, everything, all that. That's my first entry into a big Sai gathering.
Okay.
That's the first time.
Okay.
Right. And then I was fascinated about then I began to read about it for the first time when I was in India. Then I did the full course on the youth program on Swami Vivekananda's youth program in India when I was in Lucknow. Okay. I was very fortunate because he again was very universal in his thinking. And, he was a young monk and went to the West and, the World Parliament of Religion. So I was fascinated with him. When Sathya Baba quoted him, I could relate to all the teachings.
Okay. And so this is now, so Yak actually, his question has provided some useful context. So Mendy Simang says to you, you can study where you want.
Yeah.
And you say, I want to go to?
No. I said wherever you think I should go, I'll accept it.
Right.
And then they said to me, but you got a brother in India, and why didn't you? And then I said, fine, I'll go to India.
Yeah.
No, but then you said you chose somewhere because you was close to Putrapati.
The dental school.
Oh yeah, I want to go to Bangalore.
Yeah.
So you wanted to go to dental school in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Because it's close to.
So you know why Bangalore?
No. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, well, let's talk.
Yeah. Bangalore is the nearest town, big city that near Putrapati.
And
that's a Sai organization.
It's the Sathya Sai Baba organization center. The ashram is there.
Isn't that okay?
Yeah. And
I know this, but I want to give context to our listeners.
Putrapati and Prashant and Niliam is the sanctuary, the board of the Sathya Baba organization movement, and Sathya Sai Baba was born there.
Okay. So you wanted to be close to your spiritual.
Yes, yeah. Because we were orientated to already from the divine. So I thought it was a good place to be. And then I read about Bangalore. It was a garden city and was a very friendly city and was the city of lakes. So something told me, and when they gave me a choice, I liked it.
So did you go there?
No. And
Well, that ended.
no. Then they told me that Manny Simang told me then where Mozimula was the ANC head over there. Then they said to me, but you got a brother in Lucknow, and he's been studying that. He's going to be finishing off soon. I mean, why didn't you go there and help you to settle? Then I said, okay, no problem. I was very easy spirited about it. I was never fixated about something, I mean,
and as you said, you were leaving it in their hands.
Yeah. I said there's a higher force to steer. I always believe that your destiny must be in that principle.
Okay. And it was your luck now to go there. Right. Luck then.
Yes.
So tell us about dental school in India. What's that like? You get a taste of dental school in India, even though you studied in Mauritius.
Yes, I know that. Yeah. I think that's why I got a very well react from a personality perspective.
We're both traumatized.
I think I connected up with him. With I think one of my best people that I connected up with him from a mentoring perspective was Yak. When he came, and I think because people who studied, I'm not saying people don't study.
No, you can say it, huh?
But there was a big gulf of people who studied overseas in India and in Mauritius, and the people who studied here.
So basically, what you're saying is the India-run places were different to here.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, right. Because the culture of education and study is you're very focused on reverence, respect, and very simplicity.
Okay.
Right. And you're very communicative, and you're almost like very respectful in terms of you come across game and your culture, your traditions, your parenthood, your familyhood. Everything comes into play as a graduate when you qualify. It almost becomes part of your DNA, and you begin to relate this to where you relate to your colleagues and then relate to your patients. And also that because the levels of education were higher than here in terms of the volume of work, right? And so we were always, when I came back when a conference here, it was almost like a refresher course for me. Right over there, because they would taught us like those volumes of Archer, for example, Ruma Archer, right? Those maxillofacial books, right? As dental graduates, those postgraduates will study that, but they give you final year students to study those kinds of things, right? Over there. So, but it's a culture that you have in your DNA of foreign graduates of India and Mauritius, and makes you more humble and more simple and more reverential in every aspect. The relationship with colleagues, relation to your peer, relation to your lecturers, in relation to your patients, and you go back to your roots as our culture from the Indian perspective, how we relate to our grandfather, our parents, and dental school teach you that.
So
right? For example, in Lucknow, I could never walk front of the second year student or the third year student or the final year students if they're walking in front of me. I can never overtake them.
Why?
Right? There's a respect we have. Right?
Oh, you mean so your seniors?
Yes,
you can't walk in front of your seniors.
You can't
walk behind them.
Yeah, behind them. Right. And every lecturer.
Who told you this? Who teaches you?
It was an unwritten rule in Lucknow. It's an unwritten rule, and the app will tell you, the lecturers as well. You can never walk in front of your lecturer.
But if it's an unwritten rule, surely you would have made a mistake one day, and then somebody would have said, "Hey, what are you doing?" Or how did you figure that out?
No, it just happens naturally. The people around you, the colleagues will teach you that. It's a natural process, Somebody will tell you that.
Bonding.
Right. For example, Lucknow, every lecturer, and there's this thing called in the Nawab culture, it's called adab. So you have to greet your lecturer like this. Right?
Okay, but for the listeners, tell us what you're doing.
Yeah. So basically, you would put your head down and you take your hand and you would from your forehead and you would relate to the lecturer's heart.
That's how you greet a lecturer.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Exactly. And you never would walk in front of your lecturer. No chance you got. And you have to sit in your class. Nobody can go into the classroom. The yak will tell you that right after lecture enters. You can't enter.
Oh. Okay, so you can't come in late.
You can't come in late.
You
have no chance of coming late. You got no chance. And as students, we couldn't wear. You only were allowed to wear a white shirt, right, or a black or a grey pants, and a black or brown shoes.
And any other foreigners there? Were you the only foreigner?
No. Lucknow had lots of from all over the world.
In your class?
Yeah, all over the world.
South Africans?
No, in our class, there was one from Nepal, there was one from West Indies, there was one from the Middle East, but not many. But the whole of India, India was a country of confluence of, they took students from all over the world. India, even now, they still do that.
No, but I'm saying your class. And were you the only South African?
Yeah, I was the only South African.
And how many years is the degree there?
5.5 years.
5.5.
Yeah.
Was it difficult?
Yeah, because the standards were so high and the competition, Yak will tell you this amongst the students. I mean, they're very competitive.
Yeah.
And you have to just do, you know that. There's no choice, but you have to rise to the standard.
Did you fail anything?
Which yeah, in my first year I got sick when I had amebiosis. So on pharmacology. So I got sick. So I couldn't finish my exam, my practical. And you got no chance, whether you're sick or not. They put you for 6 months that you must go and then you ended the following year, but you must finish that other course.
And did you make friends?
Oh yeah, lots of friends.
Yeah.
I loved India. Up to now, we've got alumni. We've got friends together, and I learned the language and the culture.
From your dental school.
Yeah.
And was it only men?
No, both men
So I
and
remember
female.
the stories Yak and then used to tell us, like, you can't speak to.
Yes, absolutely, spot on.
You couldn't speak to women.
No. You
What do you
can't
do then?
You can't socialize. What you know.
Not can't speak to women.
No,
Come on.
but if you go, you go as a group. You go as a group, but you can't go like as Yak will go and date his classmate.
Yeah.
You can't.
No classmate.
You can't do that. He's not known to do that. Yeah, but you go as a group together to have coffee together, something like that. Group.
So there's no fun in university there in India.
Which one?
What did you guys do for fun?
No, we play sports, play fun, play music, whatever. Then they have this festival, they have this fates, they have this Guru Purnima, they'll have these things, they have this different festival. Every quarter there's something going on, as you know that. Something is going on somewhere along the line.
Yeah, they're very cultural.
They're very cultural. Oh yeah, lots of things happening.
But did you get to see your parents?
Yeah. They came to visit me in India once.
Once. The whole time you're staying in India, you don't get to go back.
Yeah, I couldn't come back to South Africa.
Oh, so you didn't go back?
I couldn't come back.
Wow, 5.5 years.
Yeah, I had to do my internship in India. I had to wait for the everything to settle down, and then I came back.
So it was like exile.
And how do you communicate with patients at the time?
I learned Hindi. I learned Hindi.
So you can speak Hindi fluently?
Yeah. And now not as much as I used to. But like I said, if you put me in the situation, I go to India, I can talk.
Wow.
If I'm there for a few days, I can quickly
come back.
That's so cool. But Hindi wasn't the thing you that was spoken in your home?
No, never.
So you learned it there. You learned it there when
I learned India. Yeah. You have to speak to patients. It's mandatory to learn Hindi.
Before I forget, you said you're very into English and stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's a podcast called the History of English podcast.
Oh, lovely.
I'll share the link with you.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. It starts from like Old English and tells you how the language developed.
Yeah.
You'll love it. I'll send it to you. Okay, so you do your internship there. It's 1 year.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
Yeah. Then and wait till they give me a signal to come back home. So if I didn't
who has to give you a signal?
the ANC guys, whether you can come back home or you can't. So I was going to go to Ireland to study masters in community dentistry. So my dean, Professor Chen Chawla, he was international renowned dean, and he lectured to the whole world. And he picks up the phone, he tells you, take the student, you have to take the students.
Right.
So most of the foreign students all studied all over the world. So he wanted me to go to Ireland because community dentistry was very new at that time.
Comdent, yeah.
Comdent.
This is 1980?
1986 it was, right? Yeah, so he wanted me to go to study in Cork.
While you're waiting, so Cork, Ireland, while you're waiting for Mama to send you a signal from home, or the ANC, what happened?
Yeah. Then I work part time at the hospital in Lucknow. Yeah, I was there.
So you didn't go to Ireland. You didn't end up going.
No. I was going to go to Ireland. I was going. My papers, everything was done. My scholarships, my funding, everything was go to Ireland. And then the ANC guy said I could come back home.
Okay.
Right, come back to South Africa.
1980?
86, right? I came back to South Africa was a big episode because they miscalculated that.
What?
My coming back home.
Explain.
Right. So what the ANC said that everything is everything because at that time the dialogue was taking place. If you remember history, the ANC and the nationalist government through the business with Oppenheimer is involved. They had this big in Durban in Zambia and in Livingston that was taking place. So they thought that everything was clear. right, the first dialogue opened up at that time. So they thought that they can come back home. So people like myself came home. But when we came home, the lot of come back home. But after not even 3 months, right? So they decided to lock me up.
Oh, so you did get locked up.
Well, I tell you what, right, how the lockup happened, right? So what happened? So when I came back home, so then the guy said, no, you'll be fine, right? You'll be inducted to the system and everything will be clear. But they miscalculated it over there, right? So it is big that they said to me, then they wanted to smuggle me out of the country again. Right, and they couldn't smuggle me out of the country because already I was 24/7 under surveillance, surveillance, right? So in the CR SWAT, CR SWAT in Durban, right? CR SWAT is where the old drive-in, the old drive-in is.
Okay.
In
Durban North, like by town.
Town by Argyle Road,
Argyle,
and
yeah.
diagonally across is CR SWAT.
Okay.
CR SWAT.
New
So
Sun Coast.
What is CR SWAT? What is CR?
CR SWAT is the police station.
Okay.
It's a high-level police station where the intelligence is there.
Right.
So Zimbabwe used to have what they call the old Rhodesia at the Sealer Scouts. Sealer Scouts were equivalent to our security branch, what you call the security branch, the SB people, security branch. So that's the equivalent of the Sealer Scouts. So Sealer Scouts and the security branch were virtually one and one in the Zambian border, Zimbabwe, Swaziland, all together.
Okay.
So the Sealer Scout guy, the guy called Alexander, he interviewed me.
Interviewed you for what?
Wait, I'm coming to that, right?
Yeah.
So they decided to arrest me and to take me to CR SWAT. So so then we used some of the influence within the underground structure. So the ANC also infiltrated the security branch also. Right, over there, right? So the interview the guy. So the guy said, "Listen, don't interview this guy. Interview him, but you have to let him out every day.
Okay.
Take him in, let him out every day. That he had to go home because he wasn't involved in quarter seizure. He wasn't involved in this. So they were not convinced by what this guy was saying from the security branch. Right. So that guy was working on a dual property. He worked for the ANC and worked for the security branch.
Okay.
This is how it was. So I was there on the 11th floor, right? A few times he threatened to drop me on the 11th floor. Right?
You mean like push you over?
Yeah, push me over. And you remember Timon
Yes.
fell on the...
Yeah.
Right?
They reopened the inquest.
Yeah, from John Foster, right?
Yes.
So then I had this kind of visions of Timor. Timor was a dentist, right?
Okay.
Right, fell, right? So I had this vision of another dentist falling on this thing, right? And the first time I felt my life was like,
in danger.
Yeah, it was in danger. The first time I felt. So I was there for 14 days, every day.
Just being interviewed.
Yeah, interviewed, going to the finest of detail.
What were they trying to get from this?
Trying to get about the underground movement. Like where am I in the underground movement? Where the structures involved.
Did they torture you?
No.
Yeah.
No, they virtually torture you by your mental strength.
Right.
They virtually almost demoralize you by interrogating you. They'll keep you there with no food for 14 hours. Right, that you not even water to drink.
Yeah.
Right, literally, over there. Yeah,
Wow.
and they tell you that if you speak about it, you're going to be in trouble. They tell you openly.
Crazy, eh? So what happens after the 14
right?
days? 14
days there. 14 days, then they let me go. But I wasn't surveillance for 5 years.
How do you know?
Because it was just the guys from the ANC guys within the branch. So told me, just be out of the circuit. Don't contact any of the guys you knew.
So aren't you just like living your life for 5 years, just thinking there's somebody watching over you?
Yeah. Do all the time. All the time.
And what do you do? So you get back from India after you get arrested.
Yeah.
Then this 2 weeks of interrogation.
Yeah.
But are you then practicing or?
Yeah, no. Then I go to Western Cape. I go back to Western Cape over there, and then they want me to redo the internship there, and they did the board exam in Western Cape.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to find out. Was it a conversion exam?
Yeah.
to register,
Yeah. I did Western Cape. So I did something very clever at Western Cape. So I enrolled for the postgraduate program in orthodontics and periodontics, and I enrolled for the examination at the same time. So I did two things together.
So you had to do an exam, just to explain to the listeners and viewers that don't know. You had to do an exam to show the South African regulator that you are equivalently trained and skilled and all that stuff. And you have to write and study.
Yes.
And how long does that take?
In a year.
It takes a whole year. So even though you've gone to Lucknow, you still have to come back for a year.
Yeah. But so I decided to enroll for diploma order medicine period at the same time.
Yeah.
So I used it 1 year in Cape Town, and I did that.
So you didn't waste a year, but but then you passed both exams.
Yes.
And then you start practicing.
Yes.
What year is this?
Yeah. Then what happened? Then I did then I had to do another internship.
Oh,
after that, right? You do 1 year of public service. You have to give public service, and then I did the circuit in Soweto circuit. Soweto.
7.5 years. That's a long time before you can start practicing in South Africa.
Yes.
So you
But
got
it was a paid job.
Paid
internship
job.
in Soweto.
Yeah.
And how was that?
So I did the whole circuit, the Joburg Gen, the old Joburg Gen, Baragwan Hospital, then the clinics in Soweto.
Which year is this?
It was 88, 89. But it was fantastic because what I learned, because I worked with Yusuf Bamji and company and Afis Kola and those guys that work. So I learned a lot, in terms of work, practical. And then I got involved with Ruben Sher. Ruben Sher was involved in the AIDS program. Prof. Ruben Sher, he was at Wits University. He was about the first guy's AIDS program. So I did the first study with him, 120 patients, sampling with him when I was at Joburg Gen.
Okay, in your internship here.
Yeah.
And what happens next?
Yeah, no, that was just after my internship. Yeah, I did 1 year, did 6 months extra, or almost a year, 8 months extra.
How come?
Yeah, no, I did by choice. I did it because I was got involved with Ruben Sher. I enjoyed that program with him.
Do you get paid for internship?
Yeah.
Was it the first time you're earning money in your life?
Yeah.
And who do you send the money to? What do you do with it?
Can
Can you remember your first paycheck?
Yeah. I remember up to now.
What did you do?
Yeah. So the first paycheck, I think the first thing I did, I think I bought something for my mom and dad. I think the first thing that I did.
Can you remember what?
Yeah, right. And so I bought a watch for my dad, and I bought my mom. I think I bought about 2 watches. Yeah, watches.
Was it good money those days?
No.
Internship?
No. It was 2,000 for 800 rand.
Yeah, but that's 1988.
80, 89. Yeah.
It's 2000 and nothing. I don't know what's 2000 and worth in those days.
Yeah, it was equivalent to today 60,000 rand.
Oh, that's not bad.
Wow, that's actually okay.
Yeah.
So it's good money.
Yeah.
For your first job.
And one thing I was always prudent about saving. So if you give me 2,000 rand, I'll save you. Always save. So from young, I always save money. From my 3 brothers, I had the most money. Even because I always save.
You knew how to save.
Yeah.
And what do you do after that 1.5 years of internship? What happens?
So I wanted to do a postgraduate, right? So anyway, I was to do a postgraduate. I went to Wits for the interviews, postgraduate. Then they did my part 1 of the board exam, right? I did the College of Medicine.
What's that?
Exam. So when you specialize, you do a College of Medicine exam, anatomy, physiology, and all that.
MSA.
What did you want to specialize in?
Yeah. So I wanted to do order medicine and perio. I thought I'd do prosthodontics. I thought I'd do either one of them.
Why?
I was interested in order medicine and periodontics. Right? Also because I did diploma in order medicine perio in Western Cape. So I thought I'd carry on and specialize in that. I will do that. Anyway, so what happened? So I wanted to do the prosthodontics. Then the prosthodontic registry came out first. Then the one in Western Cape. So I go up the interview over there to the prosthodontic relationship. Then I get accepted there. The problem happened there. Then Dr. Adam Mohammed in Durban had an accident. So my friend Raj Somaro, he was in school with me, and we went for the same speech lesson to Roy Jitu in terms of the stammering class with him, right? So then he phoned me and said, listen, you know what? I know you accepted the post registrarship, but we got an issue here, and one of the senior dentists in Durban, he accidentally lost his 3 girls, and he had his back, and he can't work for 6 months.
Sure.
Right? And he says that, Durban is not a very, very sharing community, and he says somebody needs to help and assist. And the only person I reach out to you to help. So I leave my registrarship and thinking I'll get back into it, and I can't come to Durban.
That's private practice.
Yeah. So I don't need anything on private practice. I told him, but I don't need anything on private practice. Somebody needs to teach me. Right. So my friend Ratsamore teaches me about private practice, what to do, and all those kinds of things. And my first induction into private practice.
But how are you going to help? What help were you providing?
I'll do treatment of patients.
Oh.
Yeah.
So taking over the practice.
Yeah. You had one Silvergate and one in Pinetown.
Right. So you came to Durban.
Yeah. So I was thrown into the deep end, literally. Unfortunately, my friend Raj Sumaro, he helped me to meander my way through.
And your parents, did they come live with you or what?
No. They were in Greenwood Park.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what happened when I finished that, right? Then I wanted to get into perio and oral med at Wits University, and then I couldn't get back into President. They gave it to Kathrada. What's in your Kathri? Well, one of them in Western Cape. They gave it to one of the guys there. The post. Then I lost that.
Is he still alive? Not.
I'm not sure, right? So they gave the post to somebody else in Cape Town. Then there was a post at Wits came, and then I came to Johannesburg, right over there.
For what?
For oral medicine and perio, right? And then I met Mike Rudolph from Department of Community. So Mike said to me, listen, but you get into the circuit, if you don't get into oral and perio, and he said, and I like your personality, and he said, we're starting this get into competent. Anyway, so I get into the oral med and part-time, and I got back into the old Joburg Gen, that's the whole Edinburgh Hospital was. I got into that circuit there, and thinking that I'd get into oral med and perio. Anyway, so they give you a test for all the guys who applied, and a test there. So John Lemmer was the head at that time. So I scored in one of my tests 94%, right? so John Lemmer said, "This is not possible." Right?
Cheating.
Right? It's not possible for anybody for your private post, and this is a random test. I said, "Send your person." Somebody doesn't sound right. Anyway, so they were making my life a bit uncomfortable and difficult about telling me you can get into, can't get into, and then the point is somebody said, "No, you wait for 6 months, you get into the next one." Then I realized something is funny and not. Then somebody said to me, "Listen, why are you getting frustrated with yourself and upset? The Spring needs a family dentist. They need to do children dentistry.
Springs, yeah.
Go to Springs." I didn't know where Springs was.
Yeah.
So so the South Organization Network. So one Uncle Siegel said there he had a flower shop in town in Springs, and then said come to Springs. I'll show you the shop, and you can open up a surgery there. They landed in Springs.
Springs. When is this? Which year?
1990.
Wow, you've been there long.
And when do you meet? I'll tell you why I'm going to ask this question before I even ask the question is.
Antisanta.
No. The first time that I think I'd ever seen you, I don't think you knew of me at the time, but you were giving a speech at Dr. Raven Kisten's wedding.
Oh yeah.
So I'm assuming that you are known to the family of the Kisten.
Yeah.
When do you meet Dr. Tony Kisten?
Yeah. So when I came to Springs in 1990.
Yeah.
So I knew about you through Rejection.
Right.
So Rejection told me you're going to be at the wedding.
Yes.
So this is how I knew that I knew of you through that time.
But so when you moved to Springs in 1990, you know nobody.
No.
And how do you?
Through
how do you infiltrate that community?
Through that's a good one. Yeah. Through this organization.
Okay.
Right. So joined the Science Center. Then I met Tony Christian through this organization, and that's how we became friends. And then lots of his patients became my patients, because he started practice long before me. I think it was in 88 he started Springs.
Right.
And I came in 1990.
So you found it easy to assimilate into the Springs community through religious...
through the organization, and also that through the Muslim community. So same thing that Muslim became those are the Muslim dentists in Springs, or Jiwa, lots of Muslim patients, he became my patient because I should play bridge, you see. Right. So the Muslim community used to play bridge.
Okay.
Right.
Is this a thing? Is this a thing that?
Yeah. In Springs, it was a thing in Springs. A Muslim community play bridge.
What?
So
It's a card game.
Card game. We play bridge, right? So I learned to play bridge years ago, and then I relearned it. Then Dr. Lahe, Dr. Adam Mohammed's friend, so was there. So he told me to come, join the bridge club. So every Friday night, bridge starts at 7:00. The guy didn't know what time to finish.
So you used to go play bridge on Friday nights?
Friday night, I finish at 2 a.m.
You alone?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Sure, yeah. Play bridge, and then...
So 2 a.m? You sure you're playing bridge, Doc? Are you sure?
Oh, and the problem with card plays and chess plays. I play chess, but I stopped playing Kanye and Taz and Chester, because the guys don't know when to stop, right? Like the golfers. Golfers don't know when to stop, right? This is the danger of getting into the circus with people, right?
Exactly.
So I stopped playing bridge and chess and all because guys get upset. You know why are you stopping to play?
Yes. And now to Yak's question.
Yeah. Then when did you meet Auntie Santa? How did you meet her?
So 89, right? So what happened? 89. Yeah, 89. So Dr. Singh goes to India. So I was happy not to get married and all that, like Yak, right?
I know.
Right, hiking and traveling and doing all this weirdest of things, right? I was a bit like that, so I could relate to him.
Yeah.
Right, although having this free spirit, right?
Yeah.
And not him, but the world are worrying right now about anything.
And also Yak was sent to on Exile.
Yeah.
Mauritius. Yeah. Got a lot in common. Yeah, carry on.
Robin Mauritius Island.
Definitely, right?
Right.
So anyway,
Who's
so
Dr. Singh? What?
yes, so Dr. Singh went to India, right? Or when India for India, then he went for India at an interview with Swami, with Baba. Baba interview. So Baba told him, listen here, you got a certain person that in the South organization you want him to involve in to do some official work in the South organization, but he can't get involved in official organization if he's not married, not stable.
We're talking about you.
Wow.
Yeah, right. So
But who was Dr. Singh?
Dr. Singh was the head in the South organization in South Africa at that time. Right, so Dr. Singh come to the airport, and this was in 88. Right, that 88. I just came back now. 89 into the Wits thing. I was working into the circuit, and then he phones me up from the airport, right, and to say that he's come back from the ashram, then he wants to meet me.
But how did you know that Swami was talking about you?
He said to me.
Let's hear the story. Let's hear the story.
Yeah. So he said to me that Swami said to him that there's a certain person that you must go back to South Africa and tell him that he must get married, he must phone his mother and tell his mother to find a girlfriend.
Wow.
So I was laughing, right? And they said, Yak is laughing. I thought this is a joke, right? He said to me, no, it's not a joke. He said, you must do it now.
Maybe Dr. Singh, you sure your mom didn't speak to Dr. Singh and say, hey, tell this.
So anyway, so Dr. Singh said, no, you can't take it as a joke. You must phone your mother now.
Yeah.
I said, no, I'll phone her, during the week. He said, no, I got the instruction here. He said, with Swami's instruction, you must do it at the same time.
Right.
So I go, I phone my mom the same. My mom gets shocked.
Yeah.
Right. Suddenly I want to get married.
Yeah.
Right. And then through the family situation that my dad's brother's wife, the one who's a dentist.
Yeah.
So his wife's family. So Auntie Santa, father and her mother are cousins.
Okay.
And so the family network.
So it was arranged.
Yeah, arranged marriage.
Yeah.
And so
Divine arranged.
Divine.
This time the ANC didn't know. But did you sign an ANC? Okay. No, anyway, so you get married in 1990 or 1980?
Yeah, 1990.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. 3rd of February.
Yeah.
And you've been in private practice ever since?
Yeah. In 1990. Yeah, July 1990. Go to Purnima Day.
Wow. In the Springs community from the late 80s.
Yeah. For the first 18 months, Springs. I was dentist number 26 in Springs.
Sure.
Yeah. There were too many dentists in Springs, right?
Wow.
And it was a white community, and there was only 3 colored, Mukafe, then Jiwa, then I was the 3rd one to enter. And right, so I came there. So everybody said to me. So I went to Parkton's clinic. So I went totally white. There was never a person of color ever entered the theater.
Yeah.
So I said to them, I want to do theater work, right, for children, because for the first 18 months, everybody's doing adults, nobody's doing children. So I see all the children of the town in Springs. So the guy said to me, how come this guy is so busy, right? How come this guy in six months and people say in Parkland he's so busy and he's seeing so many people and all that, right? So everybody was curious to know. Then I said, I'm only seeing children, right? Because I was taking those days, about 10 children a week to theater. So people say, how come suddenly now the new kid of the block is taking me all to theater, right?
Okay.
And furthermore, I blockbusted myself in theater, didn't want to allow me in theater. So I asked them, give me a reason why you won't allow me in theater. They said, I'm going to go tell children Benoni. I said, no, the people live in Springs. Right? So they're coming from my activist background, and so I put everything in writing to them. Eventually, they had to concede.
Okay. So, you're still, because again, you've reminded us that it's still apartheid times.
Yes.
Because
1990.
94.
1990.
And but now it's what, 30 years later, eh?
Yeah.
And are you still there, or?
No. I have exited Springs now, and I've exited private practice now officially.
Okay.
And this is my last few days in private practice in Springs over there, right over there.
Like
right?
literally now, it's your last few days.
Yeah. Literally this month is my last time of private practice, and officially as a private practitioner.
We're in February 2026.
Yes.
This is going to be released.
Yeah. So last year, 2 years ago, I joined a consultancy on wellness development, which I told you about. So they're a global consultancy agency consisting of people who are in the wellness field, but they're not medical people. And so they got exposure internationally in Belgium, and Netherlands, and then in South Africa.
What are they called?
Healing Leaf.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a group of chartered accountants, economists, host of business, but they have the interest in health space in integrated medicine. So I worked with them now on a project for 4 years with them, developing what you call the wellness concept and how to bring integrated process. Because always interested in integrated health. I could tell you that is always my forte. And during pre-COVID, I did a course on the Academy of Oral Systemic Health, the American course I did on oral system. So that gave me a threshold in terms of a platform to forage into the international fraternity of connectivity.
Okay. So it all comes, it's like circles back to ComDet, which was what you were initially.
Yes. So the wellness center is about developing wellness, how you get people to heal yourself instead of lying totally allopathic, but using allopathic sciences in terms of diagnostics, whether it's blood tests, whether it's X-rays.
So you're not going to do dentistry anymore?
Yeah.
Are you not doing dentistry?
No. I'm going to do developing on wellness centers, but how to get people to heal.
Where?
So they've got a project, 50 global centers and 50 South African centers.
Oh, so you're going to do it in South Africa?
Yeah. So initially they wanted to do it purely internationally, but then the overseas investors found that from a European perspective, because they've got collaboration with overseas market money and local market, the overseas people feel that they're not getting enough returns on the European investments because of the markets are down in Europe. So they felt that the South African market is ripe for it. Health is a problem in South Africa. NHS is not going to work. If you look at the trajectory of wellness warehouse is buying every independent health store in the country.
Okay.
Right at the moment.
That is true.
Right. And wellness to the whole world, including South Africa, is becoming a big thing about healing, how to bring about, whether it's moringa, whether it's cannabinoids, and host of natural things, whether it's echinacea, all these kinds of things. And you know that the Native has launched a medical range now with nappy codes now, right, in terms of integrated medicine. So everything is moving towards integrated medicine. So now we open integrated wellness centers where there'll be a medical doctor, IV bar, pathological lab, dentist, sports rehabilitation, integrated dispensary.
And what's your role going to be in all of that?
Yeah. So I'm consulting with my friend of mine, Vinesh Modley. He's a family medicine specialist. So he and I, we knew each other for, I don't know whether you met him previously. We heard of him. So he practices in Midrand. So he and I, we help patients together to heal for many, many years. All the so-called off the beaten track patients who cannot get healed normally or chronic medication. For example, like if you have chronic back pains or medication, you cannot be on cataplan for life. So how do we integrate you with a chiropractor, with a bit of natural pain medication, all that together? So he and I worked on many, many patients integratively, but using also some specialist interventions as required. So we had this good synergism together. So when I told him about this project together, so we've come together now to consult full-time on through Healing Leaf and to this global entity. To drive wellness centers in South Africa. So we obviously want to get it regulated through SAPRA, to the government, and to bring about this concept in South Africa to make health more accessible to population.
Okay, so you're not going to be doing any patient-facing work?
Yeah, only on a consultancy bit, but not per se. For example, that example in Bedford View, for example, that if you want to deliver to a wellness center, how can I be with Yak here? Facilitated this whole thing like that.
Okay. Yak, when you're getting involved, what was it like having Yak as a mentee and as an employee? Well, you were an employee, independent contractor. How did that happen? Where did you go and work, Yak?
I was in Springs
and Sandton.
And Sandton.
Yeah.
So you remember tying up to my story of my episode when I got frustrated with government in Mpumalanga. Doc was offering me a space. I think you offered it to me for some time. And then
Yeah.
eventually I pulled the trigger with it and I came
Yeah.
here. And it was between Springs and Sandton. And I Googled where's a place to stay between Springs and Sandton. It said Brakpan or Boxburg, something like that. And I thought, oh, okay, that's fine. And then my uncle told me, oh, you do a bit more research. And that's when I ended up in Bedfordview. But so travel from here to Springs, it was against traffic.
Yeah, and then Sandton was very good in surgery.
So you avoid? I thought you were going to avoid the question there. How was Yak? I was trying.
Oh, he was excellent. I mean, and then the biggest trajectory in Yak's career was doing the course with on implantology, and that changed his whole demeanor and his. I think he became very responsible after that. What's his name?
There was a transition.
Prof. Van Zyl.
Yeah. Andre Van Zyl. And Andre loved.
He used to be at Tux.
Yeah. Andre loved Yak. I think.
How did you know this?
When Andre used to come here, Yak used to pick him up and do conferences and everything. Yak used to be the person there for him all the time.
Now my question at Yak, what was it like working for Dr. Reddy?
No, I think I owe a lot to Dr. Reddy. Like whatever you see here at the practice. I mean, there's the word you like to use, which is synergism.
Yeah.
Synergistic. And it's not just dentistry. It's everything, how a patient feels when they walk through the door. I so light in the morning, I go and do arti and turn for Ganesha with my agrabati there in the morning. But it's all practices I learned through you. So it's not just the dentistry part of it. It's very holistic. So.
Yeah, when I saw the lavender here, and you said Yak would room within spring, where lavender growing all over the place, and and so this is why, and it's part of healing, and all those things, and also Yak was very adaptable to the integrated medicine. I mean, concept, and he was very open-minded. I think that was a big thing. I think his open-mindedness was a big factor. I think.
Okay, so you'd employ him again if you had a choice.
Maybe he'll employ me.
That'd be the adventure consultant.
Yeah. I mean, what a fascinating story, dog.
Yeah. Well, we're not. I do one more thing I wanted to ask before Yash ties up is, I mean, eventually you succeeded, Dr. Singh and the Sai organization, you became president of the Sai.
Yeah. So what happened? So after I got married, right? So this is what so Baba had said that before you give me a position of responsibility in the organization of leadership, you must be married. Why? I don't know why. So I became the head of the Gauteng region of the coordinating committee, right, for a year and a half. Then I became the national server convener for the country. So I took
what's Seva?
Service to the community. So something I did very interesting there. I took the organization from a service of convenience to a service of need. So I changed them from merely feeding to become how to teach them to fish, how to teach them and empower them on mind, body, soul, and how to teach them from recycling, agriculture.
Who's the them?
This organization. We are 122 Sai centers in the country.
Okay.
So I travel the whole country from Matuboto to Potchefstroom, East London, Cape Town. Every corner of the country I travel when a server convener. Then I was a server convener there for 4 years, and then I became the national president of the country in 2006. Then I took over from Dr. Singh as the national president, and then the national president as well. And then Yak would know from his parents, everybody, his aunt, from your aunt, and all together, right? So I met everybody from Peter Marisburg to wherever it may be, and to Sabita, everywhere, in the whole country. So I was, the thing is that what I grounded from my early childhood, from divine life and organization, and also learned in dental school of purely respect and servitude, it carried forth into this organization. And when the organization teaching into practice, I think Yak and I gotten well as well in terms of even now with the Gauteng South, our relationships just flows together in terms of what we do, how we do things based on human values and spirituality.
Yeah, I mean, I get the sense that community and service is a big thing in your life from childhood.
Yes.
Whether it be in the political spectrum or in the spiritual sphere.
Yes.
Community and service plays a big role in your life, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And my dad, when he took over the shop in Brighton, so it was a very disadvantaged community there. And so my dad's brother-in-law used to work there. And so dad always said, you must give people a chance to live. And he always said, we must give people accounts and credit. So we had about 300 people creditors every month, give them groceries, and every month they'll pay a certain time. So he taught us that in life, you must serve and you must give and you must share and you must trust people. Right, and he said to you, and you must give people a chance. That's why I always love to mentor people. I love to take them, and even now, I got some of the young Wits graduates, and some of the older graduates tell me that they literally chase some of those young graduates out of the practice, say that, and you don't know anything, and you must go and learn, and then come back and work for me. So some of them now, I've taken them, and I'm now I'm teaching them, I'm giving them confidence to know that they can do things. And I'm like on Wednesday, I've taken 2 of them to theater just to show them that you can do this thing. Don't tell you can't do it.
okay.
Right? How do you build confidence? To know that we were there once upon a time in a first year student, not necessarily a final year student. They're teaching them as though in first year. I believe people in life must give them a chance. I believe that every senior dentist must mentor other graduates.
Doc, forgive me for going off topic, but when you were telling the story about your dad having lots of creditors' accounts, just got me thinking of dentistry and like the career. Was it good money? Is it good money as a dentist in private practice?
I think it was exceptional at one point in time. Talking to my senior practitioners who were in the 80s, and I don't know whether you know the story that from 1972 till 1987, the dentistry were the top earners in the country. We were in the top 9.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Not so.
Yeah. Up to 87 to 94, we were in the top 20. Right, and I'm not sure the tests after that. Right?
So at least you made it into the top 20 at one stage in your life.
For 3 years.
Yeah. You ended up
for 3 years, right? So the problem is that I think dentistry you can still make a lot of money. I still, but you can't make money as fast as you did 20 years ago.
Okay.
Right.
30 years.
Yeah. I think, yes, by God's grace, I think He brought you to Bedfordview. I believe it's divine intervention to serve the community of Bedfordview.
Oh, yeah.
Bedfordview is an older community, and you find that they trust you more and they value you more. And that's my experience with older communities, like in Springs as well. Springs, we've got a huge patient base, 25,000 patients, and I left there. I mean, one of the largest practice bases of patients. When they did a study out the practice, a friend of mine actually in 2023, we had a retention base of 78%. Right.
Now that you mentioned this, so if you're retiring, what happens to your practice?
So a corporate has bought it over. Good or bad, but next time if I have a practice, I'll never sell it to a corporate again.
Okay.
I'd always sell it to a fellow colleague or dentist, because corporates are very, they want a quick money turnover quickly, and they don't realize that you're here for the long haul.
But can you tell us more about this? Because you're in a unique position of having lived this whole career, and now you're about to sell.
Yeah.
And I asked this question of one of our guests, so I mentioned it in one of our previous shows, that you work 30, 40 years to get to this, and then it all just ends in you having to sell your practice for like a figure. Like, how do you quantify what that whole thing is worth?
You can't quantify. Right? I sold my practice for the building, which has got business rights in Springs, and you may or may not know this. Springs is going through a bit of an upscale revolution in terms of the economy of Springs.
Okay.
And because the Chinese invested 1 billion rand in a steel mill just outside Springs, right, and PG Glass has invested 1 billion rand in the last 5 years. In terms of so a lot of good things happening in terms of right. So I sold it virtually at a normal cost when I valued the practice. So I think I was a bit of in a hurry. Intercare and NHC wanted to come to Springs, and they wanted to take over the world practices. So the corporate I sold it to by accident. They were helping me to separate out the books between Stanton and Springs, and because Intercare and NHC wanted to look at it separately, because their accountants would do evaluation into 3 entities: the building, the Springs, which has got business rights, the practice, and Stanton separately. And then these corporate guys said to me, they are keen about it, and will you allow us to look at the practice and give us the terms to pay? So I didn't look at the money stage, so I just said yes. I didn't even because I just felt, because I knew them. And but in retrospect, I felt that I should sell it to a practitioner who's got a vested interest in the patients. Right, especially Springs. It's got it's an older practice, but you need somebody. Yak would know that Spring only things out of the way.
Aren't they going to miss you?
Is out of the way.
Isn't the community going to miss you as a practitioner?
Yeah,
you built up relationships over years.
Yeah, because if I wanted my tire to fix, I phone the guy to pick up the car. Fix your tire.
Yeah, Doc knows the guy.
Right. You want my laundry to be fixed. Pick up my laundry, right?
But that's how it is in these smaller towns.
Yeah,
right? Everybody knows you.
Yeah.
So when you go shopping, people know you. Say, hi, Doc.
From my guy, I said, I want the paint delivered home, right?
Yes.
He said, you can pay him later. That's how, small towns, right? This is how we tease.
But do you feel shortchanged now that you've sold it for that amount?
No. For me, it wasn't with the money. I'm not even concerned with the money. I just feel it's that the patient care, I think it's an issue. I think Yak would know that from a family practice like Bedfordview. I think it's a family practice here. I'm almost certain it is.
So what advice would you give to like young dentists who are the practice owners?
But I said this at the when Prof. Garage was there. I think with you were there at the conversation we had at the Melrose Clinic. You're not there.
No.
So I said to them that I believe that practitioners need to plan from day one they enter practice when you're going to exit.
From the first day of starting private.
Yeah. If I were to give advice to somebody and start then, right, there's definitely, and I believe as well that you need to induct practitioners from day one. In every 3 years, you need to bring one practitioner into your practice.
Why?
Right, because you grow. There's a formula that every 3 years you tend to grow 3 times.
Okay.
Right, that's what's happening.
But is this like for succession planning?
Succession planning. So you bring one new dentist each time. But also that I learned this from my colleagues in the UK, that you bring specialists from day one into the practice.
Multidisciplinary.
Yeah. You run multidisciplinary from day one. If I would give anybody advice, I would say definitely you're bringing endodontists, just do endodontics. Right, the orthodontist only do orthodontists, right? But how do you manage the situation? Like Yak, for example, is running a multidisciplinary practice. How do you manage that? That's the critical. We're having a conversation with the specialist practices, having a conversation with your patients. Why are we doing this? What's the reason? We want the best for the patients. I would do this, right? But definitely, I would plan an exit strategy from day one. Right, definitely. And you see, the UK's got a brilliant model, right? I worked temporarily in the UK some years ago. I did a locum there. So the UK guys have got a practice manager, and they've got practitioners who are part of the system. So, like, for example, let's say Yak quantifies this practice now worth 10 million, for example, right? So he's got practitioner number 1. There's the books, you can see it openly. Right, that practice is worth 10 million, right? I'm getting you into the practice here. I'm asking you, right? You pay a sum of royalty as a commitment to the practice. So let's say you pay 200,000 rand. That means you got a vested interest. And the balance of money I'm asking you to pay out of your earnings, right? So you give me a chance to pay off the practice, but you get a vested interest from day one. I would advise you. Dentists in South Africa, unfortunately, they're not good at sharing. The Yak will tell you that in private practice, right? We don't see the collegialism, amongst our collegians of sharing and caring, realizing that we're here all together for the long haul.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because they just don't get exposed to this kind of conversation. Or what do you think is
No, absolutely. You see, communication is a big breakdown, right? I find that amongst colleagues and being openness and having the conversation, I think that as a DPL, for example, right, we figured the big role.
You mean SADA?
No, DPL per se, right? Why I'm saying DPL per se, because you have said you're involved in it, and I'll come to SADA now. The DPL needs to play a big role in getting the dentist the EQ right, the emotional quotient. Dentists are highly stressed. You talk about them, they always complain, right? And I'm one of the people that come ask me, "You're busy? I'm happy. I'm happy." Right? I never one day say to myself, "I'm unhappy about something." Right?
Why do you think that? Why do you think you're like? Is it because you're part of a community?
No, I think I'm a very content individual. Right, I'm Yak will tell you, right? I don't worry about whether I should buy a new car or buy a new shoe. I'm just content. I'm just happy. Whatever I go, I have to buy it, I'll buy it. But it's not a priority in life. My priority is we should be happy and serve it good to make other people happy. And by the happiness you generate, get other people happy, you feel happy. Life is about being happy. How do you get yourself in the spirit of giving and sharing? There's only one thing that does that. It's a love of yourself and love of your profession, having a passion of giving. Why do you study dentistry? Dentistry is a subject of health. It's about getting people in a healthy space, getting a good smile, a good emotional quotient. So it's a lot of things. I had a beautiful story the other day on Friday. I went to see a patient. I did 18 years ago. I removed 18 of her teeth. She was drinking Coca-Cola. She's a Coke addict, right? Over there. She had breaking of her teeth, right? I used to play with her, just flick the teeth off her in her mouth. So she came now, waited for me for 6 months to get an appointment with me to do her teeth now, remove six of her teeth, right? Because she remembers a good story, right? How I took care of her daughter when she was pregnant, how I cared for her. Just your empathy, your communication skills, but knowing that your colleagues also need that, because your patient needs that. I think we need to have this. Why I'm saying GPL is important. How do we set up programs on EQ, emotional coaching, from a psychotherapy, psychological treatment, neuro-linguistic programming? How do we get them to communicate better? Dentists don't communicate in a more congenial way, in a more patient way.
I think we need to build a community, a tighter-knit community.
Yes. And for example,
That's my personal view.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And for example, that Yak will tell you that he was not there for the painting program. First time in the history of SADA, I've been involved, people didn't want to leave the painting program. What that tells you, there was a therapy happened there.
Yeah.
And the laughing, the collaboration, the jokes, and you ask Yuvati did, she did so well, right? I went to Yuvati to tell her how well she did, right? Because she needed that. She was the first time on stage, to give her that confidence, that she can do even better. Right? I gave confidence. Eye contact was there, modulation was there. Though the talk was a bit long, how can she make it shorter? Right? How can she make it a little more again? But a constructive thing, but to know that she can do it again. But the painting therapy shows that what therapy you can do by your hands, So I think we need to build a closer community, a more engaging community, but also that to know that I think older practitioners need to be continuously mentoring people.
Yeah.
Right? But I think we need to have more conversations and more lectures. Right? I think we shouldn't underestimate the impact of the emotional quotient.
Yeah.
I think we underestimate that.
And community.
Yeah, and also the realities of life, of what Prof did there at the conversation in Melrose. I'm not punting Prof because he's right as from a business perspective, but what value he can give, because he's a spiritual individual. What value he can give to the health profession, medical, dental doctors, right, in terms of planning wise. I think he's there for the long haul. Right? Yak will tell you successfully he's helping Yak to do that. How many more people he can do?
Yeah.
And I believe that dentists need to bring him into play much earlier. But also that I think need to teach dentists, like Yak will tell you with relationship with Sky Vision, or what good is done for you, all right? What relationship we can build with companies, or we can build with people like the accountants, and also that I think what's lacking in Yakshan is that is the spirit of learning. Dentists think that I finish dental school, I'm stopping learning. But my experience is that you're almost beginning of learning. I think on life needs a thirst of learning, not only of dentistry, but I have this thing in my life. Every month I must learn something new.
Okay.
One thing every month. No matter how small it may be, whether it's a plant, whether it's whatever. Right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of community, also this podcast, we're creating a community here, and
yes,
thank you for joining that community and sharing with our community your experiences and your fascinating story and all the in between. And it's you could have easily just spent your Sunday afternoon at home, learning that new thing for the month, whatever it is. But you decided to share.
I believe this podcast, right? I believe when Yash told me first when I met him in Santon at the Mibalo Park. And the first conversation we had in the booth, right? The effects are in the booth over the Balapa. And I told him, Yak, you will do well. He says, no, I'm not sure. I said, Yak, believe in yourself, and you're going to do this, right? I said
you're going to confuse the listeners, because you're talking about Yash. Yeah, you're saying
yes, right, yes. So I told Yash, you're going to do this. You believe in yourself. I said, there's no doubt you're going to succeed. I said, take the step and open your heart to it, and you'll succeed. And he said, but I'm not sure. I said, I told him, eradicate the doubt in your mind.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. No, we always ask this one question to our guests. Well, we often do. If somebody comes to you now, Doc, and says, I'm thinking of doing dentistry. I'm not sure. Do you have any advice for me? What advice would you give somebody like that?
I said, I love you to be a dentist. I want you to become the best unique dentist. This is what I told my own self, right? And I will guide and assist you to be. The South Africa needs dentists. The world needs good dentists. The world needs integrated mind thinkers. But do not become the run-of-the-mill dentist. Become the unique dentist and contribute to the profession. Also contribute to the population. South Africa is a young democracy. We think that 30 years is an old democracy, but we still very, very much young as a country, democracy. I said dentistry as a part of the subsect of the help of the profession, so subsect of humanity in South Africa. We need good dentists. We need people who are good, selfless individuals. But the most important thing, become the beacon of light and hope to the country.
Beautiful. You said something interesting. Contribute to the population, right?
Yes.
I mean, I think we need to get him motivated to contribate more to the population. I mean, first
You're talking about having children.
You need to find
I must tell him I must tell Yak a real story, right?
Yeah.
And the Santa, without him even knowing the story.
Wait, tell people who's Auntie Santa, because not everybody knows.
So Santa is my wife, right?
Yeah.
And she actually loved Yak to be, even though she doesn't speak to him often.
Yeah.
But she got this thing about Yak. She prays for him. I don't know, right? Almost every week she tells me the story, and she told me that, why is he not getting married, right? She told me, I'm praying for him to add the population of the world, and she believes that Yak must get married, and she says, I must take Yak to hairdresser.
Yes, I'm wearing my hat today.
Right? And she said, Yak deserves to be groomed. And
Step number one, yes. Cut the hair.
Right? Smart. But Yash told me something very important, Yak, which I must tell you this 2.5 years ago. You had the accident 2.5 years ago on your hand? Yeah. So, and he and I met somewhere, and he said to me that, Yak doesn't realize that the responsibility he has to himself, to his parents, and everybody, right, and to his patients, and by having this daredevil approach of going to them, and he says he's doing it for himself. But in this world, what Yash told me, we're not here for ourselves. I'll always remember this, right? And we told me we're here together as a family and society. I remember those words from Yash very, very fondly, right?
I even forgot that.
Right, and he said it to me, but it made me think not only for you, but it gave me a reflection of the kind of person what Yash is. And I think that without meeting Yash at the very first time, and because Yak and myself had good, and he always spoke about Yash in Sanditon. Right, and he said you must meet him, right? All the time he spoke about getting married to Yuvati and all this story, but he didn't speak about it as your cousin. He spoke about your humanity, right? And for me, that touched me and a lot, right? And somebody could leave dentistry and do something like law, and besides doing law, and get into DPR, and and because I have family and people that are in the legal fraternity who do what Yash has done, could be earning 10 times more what he's doing in DPR. For somebody to do me that, there must be something unique. So it's not about the money. It's about doing something for humanity, doing something with the profession, taking health and fusing together. And I think that we need conversation like this, I think, at a greater forum. I think this is just a start of many things. And I think the beauty in this thing here of 3 individuals coming together to knowing that we have some sort of cynicism from a value perspective of life, our way our parents brought up, our grandparents brought up, and being from a common community of spirituality transcends religious barriers. And the most important, transcend differences. But this unity process today, I feel the warmth and the love of the 2 of you and togetherness. I think that there's lots we must give. And I believe that through the wellness consultancy I'm doing and through what you're all doing in a greater perspective, we must see the connection to contribute to humanity. And I believe if we live in this country, there's something that we have to do. Like, I had a choice when I had this consultancy available to be based full-time in Belgium and Netherlands, right? And I would have earned, I think, almost 4 times the money I'm earning now. I'm going to earn in the consultancy. I chose to do this now in South Africa. When they told me, why did you do in South Africa and be based here? I was very happy to do it. I realized that, you know what, I could take the easy way out of being in Belgium and Netherlands, do in the first world, or being like you here today, together as a community today, giving back to South Africa. I think South Africa needs us, profession needs us, and the most important thing is that we have a role to play to build the democracy. Thank you.
Thank you. Really well said, Doc. Two things I'll take away from that. Yak needs a haircut and DPL needs to pay me more. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Doc.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Doc. I'm
Pleasure.
glad you didn't stay on the farm all those years ago. I don't think you would have made a good farmer, but thanks.
Thank you so much. That was fun.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
No, great. Wow.
That was